Good morning, pop culture. We are live. It is Monday, July 8th, 2019. It's 7:49 a.m. and it's time to start your day off right with Good Morning Pop Culture. So, it's summertime. And about 1 year ago, we started Good Morning Pop Culture, and I can hear my voice. There we go. So about a year ago, we started Good Morning Pop Culture, and I thought there's no better time to do it again than over the summer when people are up late, up early, up all the time. So today, I'm back from vacation. I'm going to be talking about a few things, and we're just going to have some fun this morning, as we always do on Good Morning Pop Culture. So like I said, I am back. I've been away for a solid week. I went to hang out with our friend of the Fandom Menace, Jessie Milestone. She's a fencing judge. We had a great time. There's just one problem. My liver cannot handle it. We drank too much beer all the time, but having a cup of coffee, big time, and I'm going to be cleansing my body, because if I ever hang out with her again, I'm going to need it. That was some intense shit. But I did get to see Spider-Man. I'll be answering all your questions about that movie. I'm going to put out a review. We did our live stream, but as you know, the algorithm's funky, and I don't want we're already having issues with the channel as it is. So let's see who we got so far. We got good morning to Charles Conover, Cancer from Uranus, Coke Man, Triple Skip, Duarte Piera, St. Vacos, LaHook, Andrew Bomer, Steven12625, Megatron95, Samuel Aragon, and Andy from the UK So what's up, everybody? I know more people are going to be filing in a moment, so that's when we'll start the topics a little more. So if you're out there wondering what happened to the Good Morning Pop Culture that was promised after the High Council, well, I posted it publicly. I'll say it again for those who may have missed it. I went to do the show. I got up. I had everything prepared, and I even went live. But my microphone was broken, so that kind of sucked. But I got a new microphone that day, and then we just had stuff. I couldn't do it the rest of the week, and then I was out of town. So I might do a couple this week to make up for it. So just make sure you guys have your little bell notifications turned on to all the way, so we can figure out when I'm live. That would help a lot. The Pui, thank you very much, the Pui, since the super chat that says, hey. Well, hey to you, the Pui. Thank you very much, the Pui. You're a staple of Good Morning Pop Culture. Thank you, Metalhead Zachy, and the third turd as well, so you're able to listen to us live. Yeah, we're doing it live, Testify HD, just like we always did. But yes, that's where I was. I was away in Columbus. Spider-Man was good. Don't worry, I can nerd out on about it later. But there seems to be a lot of stuff that I've missed out on because I've been away. I know the Spider-Man gravestone issue, which I have put out a video. So for those out there that are like, oh, Jeff, you going to cover that? I already did. Feel free to watch the video. I will reshare the link so everyone can check that out. And then we also have the Black Little Mermaid fiasco, and we're getting ready for Comic-Con. There's all kinds of stuff happening right now in geek culture and entertainment. And I'd like to think that some of the most heinous stories leak or get big over a holiday weekend when not a lot of people are paying attention. And then, when people get back to work, other things will pop up in the 24-hour news cycle. So hopefully the right people hear this stream, and the right people can, get to Disney, get to, it's actually just Disney. It's weird. It's all the bad decisions just come from one company. But as I said in the video proper, the one company owns so much of the entertainment landscape. And anyone that says, well, it's a good thing they buy it up, really think about it. They have weird, archaic policies. The kid was denied his headstone, Spider-Man headstone, because of a Walt Disney policy. Yet Iron Man can get one. That's hypocritical. There are all sorts of problems with them. And, well, we'll just continue to talk about them. We got more people rolling in, talking about Spider-Man. So I guess I'll talk about the movie for a couple minutes, and then we'll get into the main topics. So the movie was fun, like I said on my stream. On a scale of 1 to 10, Spider-Man Spider-Man Far From Home is a 7 out of 10. But as a Spider-Man movie, it's a 4 out of 10. There are a lot of elements in the film. Like, the film itself is fine. It's funny. It's well-paced, well-acted, funny, again, because I just said that. The effects aren't that good. The action's okay. Now, I will give it credit in terms of visuals. The Mysterio visuals are a 10 out of 10, especially that hallucination he had. That was straight out of Spider-Man 67 and 68, where in the comic book, Peter Parker, Spider-Man, is lured to an amusement park. I guess it's Coney Island. And he fights this giant Mysterio and all this crazy shit happens. And turns out, it's all hallucination. Same thing with this movie. He fights giant Mysterio, little Mysterio. He's in the snow globe. That was the best part of the movie for me. Movie proper, at least. So it looked cool. There was just something missing, though. What I thought was missing was, I guess we've been spoiled by the Avengers. We've been spoiled by these big event pictures. I mean, ask yourself this question and be honest. Between Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, you had 2 films, and post you've had 1. You had Captain Marvel, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Spider-Man. All have felt, I don't want to say I'll just say it. They have felt subpar. You've had these movies that just aren't to the same caliber. I mean, we've had a decade plus tease to this big Endgame movie. And then after that, when Endgame delivered, and then after that, there's really not much left to do or to tell. I know this movie, Spider-Man Far From Home, definitely tries to, build upon the future, make Spider-Man the next Iron Man, which isn't how it should be. They hint the Silver Surfer. They incorporate more Skrulls. They do all these other things. It tries to, further the MCU, but at the same time, this also kind of, for me at least, looks like the MCU doesn't have as much to say as it used to. People are like, well, it's a rebuilding phase. It's a rebuilding phase. That's cool, but you don't have the right tools to rebuild. Because we know we're going to get another Guardians. We know we're going to get another Captain Marvel and certain things like that. But some of the appeal of those films were because they were going to team up with the Avengers. There are no more Avengers. Iron Man and Captain America are dead. Thor's gone. Captain Marvel, they even make fun of her in this movie, actually. Because, that scene in the trailer where it says, what about Captain America, dead? What about Thor, off-world? What about Captain Marvel? Don't say that name, or don't invoke that name, or something like that. It was pretty funny. Mareth Dealine, what's up? He says, sup, guys, working and lurking. Mareth Dealine, I haven't heard from you in a while. I'm glad you're still with us, my friend. Cesario Japan, if anime is the next thing that Hollywood is going to try to milk, it's going to be kind of weird. Because we had Alita Battle Angel, which a lot of people saw and loved, but it barely scraped by just enough to make the sequel, which is fine. Not all great movies make a bunch of money. I mean, the box office does not determine the quality of the film. Again, Captain Marvel's a $1 billion picture, weakest MCU flick. And it's weird, too. Out of town, I spoke to quite a few people, and I don't prompt people in conversation, psychologically or, verbally. And no one had anything nice to say about Captain Marvel. I've literally met one person, and it was this woman at a GameStop who said she liked Captain Marvel. Other than that, even kids that I've spoken to, like in my family, are like, I didn't like Captain Marvel. So box office does not matter. But if anime is going to be the next thing, are we going to get... the problem is, too, is that you're going to get into the whole argument about, they need to be Asian, they need to represent this, they need to represent that type of thing. And, yeah, that's fine, but some of the characters aren't always Asian. Some are different. And so we're so politically correct. We're so darn obsessed with, the skin color and the representation and all that. And we're basically screwing ourselves out of a good film. And people would say, well, what about The Little Mermaid? What about this? What about that? Well, the thing is, when you adapt something so near and dear to people's hearts, you're going to kind of get people pissed off when you change it. Like I said, I don't want you to change anything. I wouldn't want a bright orange Godzilla unless he's on fire or something for like one scene. I mean, you just don't screw with what works. You don't screw with the established. Yeah, Hollywood better not touch anime. You're going to get a lot of people come out of the woodwork to defend it, and rightly so. You gotta speak up when you don't like your entertainment. Speak up. Don't just not give it a thumbs up or something. Don't speak up. Don't see it in the movie. Let people know why you didn't go see the movie. Or give Hollywood the message, because we're at a turning point in entertainment where you won't be able to do that, because as more and more things become streaming focused, Netflix and their metrics for what gets views and all this stuff is kind of a hidden process. Like, we know we'll never see another Dark Phoenix sequel or a Men in Black sequel. They'll never do anything with certain franchises because they flopped. We know they flopped. It's very public. Like Ghostbusters. That's why they're doing Ghostbusters 3 or Ghostbusters 2020 with Paul Rudd involved. Jason Reitman's directing. They're going back because they almost killed a brand. You almost killed what would that have been? A 32-year-old brand at that point. Ghostbusters is now 35, by the way. Happy birthday, Ghostbusters. You go back. You got to do these things publicly. And with anime and all these other things, you gotta. I don't know if you can do it. I don't think you should do it. Yeah, video game movies too. Not. So he said Gabourey Sidibe should play Goku. That is so brave, so bold. Yes, please. You know what else? People were talking about remembering Netflix, Iron Fist on Netflix. Did anybody watch Jessica Jones season 3? I'm going through Stranger Things right now, and I got a little notification for Jessica Jones, and I'm just like, no one's talking about this show. I wonder if that's part of the plan. I wonder if that's part of Disney's plan to basically make you forget about the Netflix series, and then, oh, here's Disney Plus. Probably as could be. Don't know. All I do know is that I have no interest in watching the series. Rocket Ship, thank you very much for your super chat. Anyone else laughing at the reboots flopping? I am. The creativity of Hollywood is at an all-time low. I think somebody jokingly called it the decade of... Oh, wait, no, that's something else about Decade of Tears. That's Tim Christ. No, but the reboots flopping make me laugh and make me kind of happy. I don't know, a song cover is fine. It's not like a reboot. Sometimes they cover the song better. Like All Along the Watchtower by Jimi Hendrix is better than the Bob Dylan version. I know. Some people are mad. Oh, you don't like Bob Dylan? No, I don't. I don't like Bob Dylan music. Sorry. Not sorry. So sometimes covers are better. Very rarely do you have reboots or remakes be better than the original. Like, you have the rare examples of like The Thing or technically Scarface. But the way today's entertainment is made, they just can't do it. I know that sounds crazy to think, oh man, you got to be more optimistic about this stuff. Do I, though? Movies are made by committee. They don't worry about what's the best story, what's the most captivating, what's going to make the most money. They worry about weird things, be it identity politics, be it representation. It's like, Die Hard has 2 black people in it. Yeah. No, 3, excuse me. Argyle, Sergeant Al Pal, and Theo. And a lot of white German dudes. But, nowadays, if you made it, they would make a big stink about whatever. But it's still the greatest action movie ever made. You just got to tell a good story and ignore the Mary Sues of the world, the Huffington Posts, those sort of things. You need to avoid Twitter. Those sort of things would make for much better films. But Hollywood execs think social media is it. Social media is not going to be around forever. We think it is. We think all these platforms are going to be around forever, but it's always evolving. And the sad thing is, YouTube could be around forever. It was such a good thing, but the powers that be had to get involved and alter it for the sake of agendas. YouTube being the Wild West with certain obvious restrictions. No adult content, stuff like that. That's fine. I understand those sorts of things, but wrongthink penalties. That's just ridiculous. And, they're going to basically move themselves out of a platform that really was the people's platform. I'm able to do this and turn this into a full-time thing and build a community, build an audience. And it's going to get destroyed for what? Stupid people out in California. That's all I can say. I did watch the Astartes on YouTube. Yeah, I watched all that stuff. So I put it on YouTube, and then I ended up watching a bunch of Warhammer stuff. A lot of dudes in big suits. I think there's this women with the red hair. Very neat, very visual. If you could make a movie that obviously is very story driven, but has those visuals and just has big battles and war, I would go see that. I don't know anything about Warhammer. I'm not going to start buying the game, just not, because I don't have time. But I thought it was very cool looking. So I finally got around to that before I went out of town, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. If they rebooted American Pie into today's culture, it would end up being a bland mixed fruit pie. Yeah, it'd be a Hostess fruit pie. Ugh. Yeah, you could not make... You know what, for a minute before we get into the topics, let's think of some movies that you couldn't make today because of the climate we live in, the self-imposed climate we live in. You know, I can understand if things evolved naturally to this point, but it's very much not natural. So you couldn't make American Pie because you can't make raunchy sex comedies. You couldn't make an Animal House or Revenge of the Nerds. You couldn't make, I don't think. You couldn't make a Beverly Hills Cop because people would say there are racist undertones, even though they're stupid. You couldn't make a Mel Brooks movie, you damn right. Tropic Thunder. There you go. That is a film you couldn't make today, which is weird because it's only 9 years old. No, sorry, 11 years old. It came out in 2008, not 2010. So it's an 11-year-old film. It has so much to say. I think the reason you couldn't make that today is because it would embarrass Hollywood. Tropic Thunder is so smart and so well done. And a lot of people just know it from the meme, with the Robert Downey Jr. face meme, which it's fine. It's one of the best parts of the film. But every actor, every character is interesting, engaging. I love that movie. That is a top 10 comedy for me, definitely. Like certain films, I don't know if they're a comedy. Like, is Back to the Future a comedy? Is it a science fiction film? What is it? So I don't know where I would rank that on the list. But Tropic Thunder is a straight-up comedy. And like Lethal Weapon, is that a comedy or an action film? I don't know. But you could never make Tropic Thunder. The blackface joke would go over people's heads, and you just have a bunch of outraged idiots bitching online. Oh my God, that's so offensive. That's so offensive. Well, that's the point. It's the joke. Maybe you're supposed to stop and take a look at yourself from the inside, but you can't do that because you're not self-aware, because people have coddled you and told you that the shit you think and say on Twitter is valid in real life. Coneheads. Would you want to make a Coneheads today? I like Coneheads. It's top 5 SNL films, which is a very shallow pool to draw from. I mean, we're talking Wayne's World's the best, then Blues Brothers, Wayne's World 2, Coneheads, Night at the Roxbury. Tommy Boy's not an SNL flick. I do strictly based on skits. So I don't remember a Tommy Boy skit on SNL. I remember Matt Foley. I remember the Lunch Lady and all that other weird shit that Chris Farley used to do, but never a Tommy Boy skit. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Then Tommy Boy is going to be number 2. Sorry, Blues Brothers. Oh, Porky's. You could never, ever do Porky's. I mean, Porky's is it's just what the 80s was. I mean, on Amazon, they have all those weird teenage sex comedies, and some are funny, some are dumb. Clearly, you know what these studios were trying to make. You wouldn't do that today because somebody would be up in arms. I really wish some studio would have the balls to make something. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Porky's remake, but just something that Hollywood isn't comfortable making, and have it make a bunch of money, and then people are like, fuck, we got to do something. You go where the money is in Hollywood, and that's fine. You go where the money is in business as well. But I feel like Hollywood cuts itself off from a lot of, like, there's no reason massive IPs should flop. There's no reason a Dumbo movie shouldn't make a lot of money. There's no reason Men in Black should be an embarrassment. There's no reason X-Men. And I know I've said this before, but put this into perspective. Up until recently, 2012 is fairly recent, 7 years, the name Avengers didn't hold the same weight as the name the X-Men. Go back for decades. The X-Men was Marvel's premier team. The Avengers was popular, but they weren't X-Men. Matt Joseph, thank you very much. Did you get the Spidey digital codes? I did not. I will check the email out after the show. Usually Kendo Kendo should be responsible for the emails, but he's not. He hasn't been doing anything as of late. So damn you, Kendo. If you ever hear this, you know what? You're fired. So let's start talking about a couple things, because let's talk about this Little Mermaid thing. I know a lot of people are covering it. They're getting up in arms. Full transparency, I don't like the Little Mermaid. Never seen it all the way through. It's not for me. But I wanted to comment on this article because it talks about something that I've never heard of before. Can somebody please explain to me what white Twitter is? Now, I know this is controversial to say, but I thought Twitter was Twitter. I thought the bathroom was the bathroom. I thought the world was the world. There's no white world. There's no black world. It's just the world. It's a place we live in, we inhabit. We have different ideas. People look differently. But, screw me for thinking that, Twitter was just kind of like a place for everybody. Now, I have seen all the memes about all the different racial castings. I've seen the albino Pocahontas, the Mark Henry picture as Mulan, and all these other things. And I get the humor behind it. And I get the anger behind it. I think what happens with today, and you in the chat, believe me, I know you guys will know this. When you meet these people, by the way, I think I met an SJW in Columbus. It was kind of weird. I met Black Angus Reviews, and he came to this 4th of July party. And somebody there was talking about like gatekeeping and language choice. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? I didn't say anything to him, but as soon as he opened his mouth, I thought to myself, I hope you leave now. And he was one of the first people to leave the party. So I could tell when he said that, like everyone around the table just looked at him like, what the fuck are you talking about? So those people in the wild are crazy. Like, avoid them. That's why they have strange hair colors, so you know not to touch it. Grand Inquisitor, you're not that late to the party. We got a normal start time. With the summer and YouTube being what it is, people aren't getting notifications. I have had to contact YouTube. It's kind of frustrating that for some reason people haven't been getting my notifications for months. And it's not just like one or two people. I went somewhere on Saturday and 3 separate people who subscribed go, did you stop making videos? Then I got emails about it. A lot of listeners have been reaching out about it. So hopefully they get this adjusted soon, because I'm tired of, we got an audience of 126,000. Let's get 126,000 people watching this shit. So where I am, it's 8:11 in the morning, Chase from Earth. So thank you. So this white Twitter controversy about the Little Mermaid, do they do it for the clicks? Because I don't think you're going to get yourself a lot of views in the movie theater. It's like with the Buffy the Vampire Slayer thing was it last year, when they talked about the black reboot and people flipped out. Why mess with the identity of these characters? If you made a Little Mermaid and called her, I don't know, not Ariel, how's that for a name? And you change the characters around, then you could maybe, because there's more than one mermaid. I don't even care how mermaids procreate. It's not really a thing for me. It's not important. I don't go, I wonder how mermaids can mate and do this and that, because they're fucking fake. They're fake. But I just stick by the standard of, if you're adapting something, adapt the way it looks. So, Spider-Man. Tom Holland looks like Spider-Man would look. I will give him that. I've actually come around on him quite a bit. I used to say he's great in his non-Spider-Man movies. So, Civil War was funny, Infinity War, Endgame, but not Homecoming. This movie changed it. I liked him. I thought he did a good job. He's a much different character than I would have. Well, no, he was fine. The world around him was much different. Joss, how mermaids mate? Yeah. I don't want to know how mermaids mate Cesare Japan. Just please keep that to yourself. Please. I don't care. Not at all. I really don't even care about the Little Mermaid bullshit. I'll be honest. It's so dumb. It's frustrating that this is that these studios do this stuff to, I don't know, antagonize the fan base. All I can say is don't watch this piece of shit. Don't. I wasn't going to go see it. I refuse to see Aladdin. I refuse to see the Disney live-action remakes. And by the way, how can you call The Little Mermaid a live-action remake completely when it's mostly, like The Lion King? That's all CGI. Is there anything live-action? Maybe they went and shot, location plates, but I don't think they got lions and trained them and did all that stuff. I mean, they could have, and I could be wrong, and I'm probably not. But I'm almost positive that all they did is just CGI everything, and then they're calling it a live-action remake. No, at least with Aladdin, there were actors. Will Smith sat in that chair every day for 12 hours to be painted blue and have smoke come out of his ass. That's dedication. Will Smith, you at least deserve an MTV Movie Award for best, I don't know, best effect. But Aladdin did make the money. The Lion King will probably make the money. Little Mermaid, I don't know, because with Aladdin, they went the distance to, we have to have this actor look like the characters, and they did. They made him look like the characters. There was not much issue. Maybe somebody said they weren't the right ethnic background, but they looked like the character type of thing. I mean, this lady looks the furthest from the Little Mermaid. I do think of the cartoon and the Under the Sea and all that other dumb shit and the gold penis on the box, which people go, what's that mean? Look it up. Disney used to be dirty. It's funny. You went from dirty Disney to evil Disney. I'll take dirty Disney any day of the week. They used to hide nude stills and the rescuers, the controversy about the Lion King with the word sex and the clouds, all that kind of stuff. The Little Mermaid and the priest boner, like all these things were different back in the day. And, you know, I guess for some reason that just seems less harmful than the shit that goes on today, because the shit that goes on today actually divides people and causes problems, and just Hollywood's just sitting there laughing. It's like some odd social engineering. I don't get how that benefits anyone. They had a live action Little Mermaid with Splash. Was that Daryl Hannah? And that was a big hit too. Yeah. And remember they remade that Kurt Russell Goldie Hawn movie Overboard? Did that even make money? Let me look that up real quick, because I'm pretty sure that was a flop. So let's see. Splash remake. I know it's so riveting to listen to me Google something. But that's the internet. That's the nature of the internet. Okay, so did it make a lot of money? No, I guess it wasn't remade. Oh. That's from last year. I thought they remade. Oh, no. They made Overboard. That's what it was. Overboard with Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. Overboard remake. Let's see. Was that a flop or a hit? I'm just curious. And I guess so. Yeah, it was sort of. It wasn't a huge super hit. It made $91 million. So, on a $12 million budget, it received unfavorable reviews from critics who praised Ferris's performance but criticized the story as mediocre and as adding nothing to the original. I think that's where we are now in society, where we add nothing to the original. And the worst part is, in the future, we'll have no original. The Great Mouse Detective was awesome. I used to watch that. It was at Basil of Baker Street. I had that as a kid. I watched it a lot. I think the bad guy's name was Ratigan. See, now that was something. That was the Disney film that I think I watched probably in the top 5 the most. It was like Aladdin, Lion King, Great Mouse Detective, and Toy Story. Loved Toy Story. Didn't see part 4. Thought the story ended at part 3. And even then, I didn't love part 3's ending. I know, sounds stupid, but as a grown man who did go off to college, I didn't throw my toys out or get rid of them. You know, I don't like the idea of like, oh, you got to get rid of this to symbolize you're an adult. No, not really, because it's a part of you, and you always, you know, it's nice to look back. If I would have got rid of my Power Rangers when I went off to college, I would regret that, because those were a part of my childhood that made me happy. Not necessarily worried about looking cool. I mean, it still worked out. I had plenty of friends and did all the stuff I wanted to do. But I just didn't like that message. Maybe that's me reading too much into it, but I just kind of felt like, Andy betrayed Buzz Lightyear and Woody. But that's just me. So there is some distaste for Toy Story 3 in the chat. Well, a lot of people loved it. I will say the part in the incinerator was damn fine. I remember looking at my friend thinking, wow, I really care about these toys possibly melting. When in reality, I've watched countless videos of Rose Tico getting melted and all this other stuff, and I'm just thinking to myself, whatever, she died, she melted. I once taped her to the lid of a toilet seat. By the way, I have been rearranging this office slowly, And I have so many Rose Tico figures. I don't know what to do with them. So if you have any recommendations for a Rose Tico evacuation plan, like I was thinking at one point, I'm like, I should just launch these somewhere, but no, I got to do it for the channel. And Ethan doesn't have his trebuchet ready. So if anyone has a trebuchet out there, P.O. Box 5069, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45205, care of World Class Bullshitter Show. I'd appreciate that. Dean Domino, I will be on the EFAP next week with Mahler. He has already reached out to me. So that's one of the benefits of being a YouTuber, hanging out, talking to other YouTubers. So when he does that, I will be there. Mahler's fun. I'm trying to get somebody who's actually reached out and wants to be on the channel is Razor Fist again and Robot Head. So I'm going to talk to those guys and give you guys an Avengers-like assembly of your favorite YouTubers. You know, Fandom Menace is growing. It's great. But I want to get some other people involved too. It's summer. It's a weird time for, you know, people. So let's give you guys something you can't get anywhere else. We're talking about Indian in the Cupboard. That movie was terrible. Henri, I think you had a Darth Vader in there. Well, it wasn't terrible. Put it like this. I watched it as a kid, and I remember everyone said, oh, you got to watch The Indian in the Cupboard, The Indian in the Cupboard. And I did. I didn't like it. So it could have just been me. I should have done a video where I blew up Rose Ticos on the 4th of July, but where I was, there were no fireworks. I didn't see a single firework on the 4th of July. I know that's unpatriotic, but I did listen to America Fuck Yeah and Real American by Rick Derringer, a.k.a. Hulk Hogan's theme, and I watched Hulk Hogan wave a flag and drop a leg. So I was as patriotic as I could be on the road. Oh, the hate monger of the Toxic Brood. Thank you for telling me that I rock. I appreciate it. You know, I'm putting in the time and the effort, and you guys are definitely receptive, and I appreciate each and every one of you out there. Like I said, this is a group effort. We make it, and then you guys watch it and spread the word, and we help inform you guys and entertain you along the way. I know Good Morning Pop Culture isn't the zing fest that some want. I mean, I can talk shit about anything. You pick a topic, I'll make fun of it. Maybe that should be part of the morning show. All right, folks, let's pick a topic, and I'll make fun of it. But yes, Hulk Hogan's theme song is a great workout. I do enjoy it. And Sleepy, thank you for the $1 super chat. I appreciate it. Oh yes, and hail Doomcock. Doomcock's great. I'll have Doomcock on any day of the week. Doomcock is always welcome here on this channel. Great dude, fan of the friend of the Fandom Menace. You know, I salute the guy. I didn't watch Ivan's The Last Jedi re-edit. I mean, it's The Last Jedi. That's all I can say is it's The Last Jedi. I'll give it a shot. He did send us a work cut, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's still going to be The Last Jedi, which I support his project, and I will watch it and tell you what I think. I mean, unless we can go back in time and just basically remove Rian Johnson from existence and have another director. You know what? Rian Johnson can live. We know what can't be done. Disney buying Star Wars. That's when we just kind of pull it back and not let it happen. Yes, I did watch Astartes. I did watch the Warhammer stuff. Will I make Mahler an official member of the High Council? That's just not up to me. It's an Ethan and Jeremy thing. But he would have to be present all the time. The High Council requires, you know, a constant presence. And Mahler lives in the UK, which is 5 hours ahead of us. So by the time we go live, it's 2 a.m. No, it's 2 a.m. So it's going to be a hard pull. So he could be a friend of the High Council. Of course, he's a friend of the Fandom Menace, but I don't think he could be a member unless, you know, he showed up. So that's kind of, you know. And thank you, Walter. I appreciate that. Got to get Red Letter Media in the Fandom Menace. Here's the thing, folks. We have the reach. We have the numbers. We need you to constantly bombard them. You know, yes, they know who Jeremy is. They put his little scream in a video and today. But no, if we're going to do that, we're going to make the effort. We need thousands of retweets. Like the outpouring and the positivity for Anna was, you know, so nice, especially and refreshing in this climate that we all operate in. Like I was sitting at a bar having a drink, and I was reading some of the comments, and I was just like, we have good people here. And I just felt really good about, all of you. But if you guys want something big like that to happen, all you have to do is make a concerted effort. It's a group effort all the time to make the big things happen. Like we tried to get the William Shatner thing. There's more to the story than you guys actually know. So just, be positive and stick with one thing. And let's just, you want Red Letter Media on, we'll get Ethan, Jeremy, and myself to tweet it in like a group tweet or something. And then you just keep adding them, replying. We'll have to eventually see it. And, the end of the year is going to be interesting. We'll put it like that. The end of the year is going to be crazy time. I got a lot of stuff already planned for the end of the year. That's going to be when you don't want to miss. You can't miss our videos. Like, school, work. No, World Class Bullshitters video first. There's a couple listeners out there that will message me and say, you know what, man? I don't start my work day, or I take a break from my work day to watch your videos. So be like that guy and watch our videos when they go live. High Council on Tuesday, yes. So it'll be on Ethan's channel. Sorry, I had to think about that for a second. With the High Council, we took a week for... so how it worked is we did a day of silence for Anna's sister, and then we took a week off the High Council, for Anna, because it just didn't feel right. We have some big stuff to announce, but, for Anna, for everyone involved, we just wanted to, pay the proper respect and do the right thing. And I don't think so. I know so. We made the right decision. So look, we're not going anywhere. We're not going to abandon you guys. You're not tired of us. We have so much to cover. And, we'll be back. By the way, folks, let's get some thumbs up in the chat. And give this a thumbs up. And let's get some ones in the chat, because I'm thinking if this picks up and, gets a little crazy, I might do this every day this week. This may not be just a one-day thing. So I'm kind of feeling in the mood for Good Morning Pop Culture, but I got to know you guys like it. So let's see some ones, some flex emojis, some something. Let's get engaged. All right. So there we go. We got some ones. We got some thumbs up. Let's give a thumbs up on the video. Actually, click the thumbs up button, smash the melee button, pound the muff button. What is it? Lick the moist button. Ugh, that's the naughtiest one of all, but you know what, that makes it the most fun. So there we go. We got a lot of people. Loke Taz here. That dude's here all the time. Thank you, man. You've been a long time listener. I appreciate it. All right, flex emojis and a frog emoji. I didn't realize we had multiple colored flex emojis. Cool. We're a very racially diverse flex emoji community. And we got people from the UK, all over the world. Do I think the hatred of Hulk Hogan is justified? I know what he said is dumb, and other people have done much worse. Etepo Coins review, I'll answer your question in just a second, my friend, because this is a wrestling-related topic, and you know me, I want to talk about wrestling. So, Macho Man, which is funny that you of all people, because you hate Hulk Hogan, I'm surprised that you of all people wonder if Hulk Hogan was unjustified in his the treatment of him. I'll say this. What Hulk Hogan said was stupid. I don't justify what he said at all. And if you want to know what he said, just look it up. I'm not going to say those words ever on the internet. Don't ever even... You can't pay me enough money to say those words. So don't try. I will just tell you thank you for the super chat and not read that word. But to answer your question, though, Macho Man, I think it's dumb to try to wipe him out from history. I don't condone what Chris Benoit did at all, ever in a million years. For those wondering, Chris Benoit was the wrestler who killed himself and his family. The WWE basically wiped him from existence, and I understand that one a little bit. But again, with Hulk Hogan, yes, he said something stupid. I don't condone what he said, but you can't get rid of him and his achievements. He apologized. He's tried to make amends. I think the WWE is over. The WWE's over it. I went to WrestleMania this year. Hulk Hogan was there. We cheered. He's going to be hopefully in the next set of video games and all that stuff. So I think, and I think taking him out of the Hall of Fame and the way they treated it was stupid. Like I said, Hogan did something stupid. Lots of people do something stupid. Unlike a lot of people, he took the blame and apologized. And he, Macho Man, like you say, be a man, Hogan. I think Hulk Hogan was a man in this case. He did the right thing. He definitely tried to make amends with people behind the scenes and all that other stuff. So Other people have done worse stuff. What Hulk Hogan did was dumb, not violent, not unforgivable. I think it shows greater character to forgive Hulk Hogan if you're a black wrestler than it is to hold a grudge and try to make him do all sorts of things to apologize for whatever you think he's done outside of that one thing. Hulk Hogan has done business with lots of black wrestlers before. You know, if you consider The Rock black, and I don't, and neither does The Rock, he's like me. He considers himself equally whatever races he is. Well, I know what he is. But, you know, if you're truly this racist, terrible person, you wouldn't work with Mr. T in the 80s. You wouldn't have wrestled some of the wrestlers you've wrestled. You wouldn't, you know. Now, Hulk Hogan didn't do the job for everybody, so that's kind of an obvious thing. You say, well, he didn't lose to any of these black wrestlers in the 80s. Well, he didn't really lose to anybody. I mean, the way he lost the title is he got screwed over by Andre the Giant. Hulk Hogan and John Cena are probably two of the most protected wrestlers. Roman Reigns probably more so. But anyway, you guys don't care about wrestling. But Macho Man, I do love that question. And anytime you guys got wrestling questions, just shoot them at me. I don't care. Wrestling's fun. It can be. Etep McQueen, like I said, the High Council, we took a week off for Anna because it just didn't feel right. It was, you know, I'll say this once publicly. It's not a private thing, but I remember I was at the fencing tournament with Jesse. It was the day I did my live stream, and she got the call, and I found out, and it just, like, you know, my heart sunk. I felt really terrible. So, again, thanks to everybody who's shown the support to Anna and her family. It's awesome. You guys are really kicking ass with a level of love. And, you know, that's like when we go to, like right now, it's kind of a shitty time for YouTube. All of us, it's just like, you know, what's going on. But then, you know, when you work through, or when you're working through it and you think of the, you know, the meetups and this and that and the people, makes it all worth it, and especially what you guys have done. So, Itepakoyan, that's why we didn't have a High Council, but it'll be back tomorrow night. Let's see. I'd like to see Jeff interact with Double Toasted's Corey and Martin. I would like to be on Double Toasted. I used to watch them all the time. The reason I stopped watching, I don't know the reason I stopped watching. Probably was it The Last Jedi? I don't know. Let's see. Micah D2, thank you very much. What's up, guys? Missed you lately. Well, Micah, I'm glad you missed us. This week means we're back. Like I said, I was on vacation, hanging out in Columbus with Jesse Milestone of Mindless Entertainment. Make sure you guys subscribe to her channel. We did a Spider-Man live review. So we saw it, we reviewed it the next day, and then we had a lot of beer. Like, I don't really remember the week because it was just like, hey, I got there, beer. Woke up, she went to her tournament, came back, beer. It was just a beer week. I am beat to shit. I have a sunburn. I sound terrible, and I'm tired, even though I got a full night's rest. But I'm glad you missed us. The podcast will be back on Thursday. Videos this week, all this stuff. Just do us a favor. Have your bell notification turned on so you don't miss anything, and spread the word. Like I said, I had to contact Google because of the issues we're having. So let's circumvent the issues by showing people power. That's a John Laurinaitis reference. If you know who he is, boom. Let's see. Thomas Gilkey, thank you very much for your super chat. What is your Mount Rushmore of WWE? I didn't get a notification on this stream, I didn't get a notification on this stream, and all I have is the bell rung. And I have the bell rung. So I think you have to turn it to all notifications on the bell. I'll have to start getting the word out for that. We'll start talking about it on the High Council. It's I think that's a different setting. I firmly believe when the settings changed, because I got that email about new features, that it's just affecting everybody. It's not like I've been targeted, but I think there's a technical issue because, you know, that's how technology works. Remember when Facebook went down? Not went down, but remember how you couldn't load Facebook images on the 3rd of July? Like, I had this J. Jonah Jameson picture as my profile for a couple days, and you couldn't see it. I was just like, this is bullshit. So, let's see. Thomas Gilkey, what is my Mount Rushmore of WWE? So it's going to be Hogan, Rock, Austin, and Shawn Michaels. I think I'm going to go there because you have the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s all represented. People say, well, what about John Cena? I think John Cena is overrated. I've softened my stance on him over the last couple of years, but you got to do something, you know, more. And now if you're going to do Mount Rushmore of all wrestling, I would throw Ric Flair on there, but not a WWE Mount Rushmore, because if you look at his career comparatively speaking, Ric Flair did a lot in wrestling. was he a minimum of a 16-time world champion. But in the WWE, he won the 92 Royal Rumble, which was cool. Didn't even main event a WrestleMania. Evolution, that stuff later in his career. I mean, Ric Flair is one of the all-time greats. Top 5. But in terms of WWE career, I wouldn't have him on the Mount Rushmore wrestling. So Rock, Austin, Hogan, Shawn Michaels, that would be. No Roman Reigns. I should read all of your messages. Macho Man is the Macho Man. What? No, I can't do it. It's too early. No Undertaker. I know, no Undertaker. I like the Undertaker, but something about the Undertaker is the longer his career goes, the less I want to see him. But I was there when he lost to Brock Lesnar in person, so that was kind of cool. So, we talk about how, I don't know how to phrase it. Do I want to keep calling it SJW Entertainment? Kind of what it is. Kind of dumb. Actors aren't immune to it, too. We're in this weird, we live in the bad 1985 right now, where we talk about, Biff is corrupt and powerful and married to your mother. And now we have these odd questions. It's like, remember when you would talk about a movie, is the story good? Is the acting good? How do the characters interact? We get asked questions like, could Spider-Man be gay? And all these things. And that's fine if you want to make gay characters. They had a whole thing about the transgender actor in Spider-Man. And you know what? It was a glorified cameo. The character said maybe 1 or 2 words. It wasn't awkward or even obvious. What it was trying to get some attention and some brownie points from a community that just wants a good story. I really wish Hollywood and the media could treat gay people and transgender people like they treat everyone else and just not worry. It's like, hey, here's your story. Movies that make $1 billion may not represent everybody. Avengers didn't represent everybody. Who cares? It was just a good must-see story. Now with Spider-Man in this question, I don't even know why that's relevant. There are gay superheroes. Spider-Man is not one of them. But gay people do like Spider-Man. Straight people like North Star and all these other things. It goes both ways. And I honestly wish we could evolve past this point because, Tom Holland, Spider-Man wouldn't come out as gay. He's with MJ. Michelle Johnson is her name, not Mary Jane Watson. And, I just make other characters. That's all I can say. I hope he doesn't become like Miles Morales. I am not a Miles Morales fan. For me, I don't like legacy characters having, multiple people take up the mantle. When I was a kid, I got burned because I wanted to read Superman comic books, but Superman was dead. You know who we had? We had the Eradicator, we had Cyborg Superman, we had Superboy, we had Steel. Steel was cool until I saw the movie and I never picked up another Steel comic again. We also had over in Batman, Jean-Paul Valley was Batman, not Bruce Wayne, because Bruce Wayne was at home with a broken back. He didn't win any gold medals with a broken frickin' neck. And so with all of these things happening, you had a very, very hard time to get into certain characters for me as a child. And Spider-Man did have the clones, but you also had the cartoon and other things very early on in my life where Spider-Man was Peter Parker. And I just don't buy any other version. Simplicity is best with Spider-Man. You don't need, an Iron Man level suit with technology. It's just a guy in spandex overcoming the odds with his smarts and his limited technology. I mean, if I was making these movies, Spider-Man would have spider tracers. I mean, with the smartphone, you could do a lot more. So I would have smartphone integration and stuff like that. Like the video game had a pretty good balance of like high-tech suit, but also, basic suit. It's just spandex. It's going to get ripped up. It's not going to withstand fire or gunshots or anything like that. Like Spider-Man would say, punch me, I bleed. Yes, you will bleed a lot. One of the coolest moments from the first Spider-Man film is when the Green Goblin's pumpkin bomb blows his face off, mostly his mask, and he just screams and gets the shit beat out of him. I know it seems like we harp on it because we're old to some people, but the spirit of Spider-Man was captured 17 years ago. Today, not so much. Why? Because it's a choice. And I hate that kind of stuff. The Warhammer movie is called Ultramarines. It flopped. There's a new official animated series coming out sometime this year made by the guy behind Hell's Reach. I'll check it out. I'm open to more forms of animation, just to sit back and watch it and have some fun. Like I said, I watched all that stuff that was recommended, the Astartes thing. I liked it. I don't know if it's going to make me a Warhammer fan to buy anything, but visually it was cool. Let's see. Sorry about the garbage truck in front of my house, folks. It's garbage day here in my neck of the woods. Andrew Garfield was fired because he wanted Spidey to be woke. No, Andrew Garfield was fired because he didn't show up to a Sony press event. That's the big story. And I am so happy he was fired. I try to be positive on here, but damn it, I hate the Amazing Spider-Man franchise. They're garbage movies. The first one's stupid. Oh, it's going to be dark and edgy. When was Spider-Man dark and edgy? Yeah, he may have been. He may have stopped Uncle Ben's killer at night, but his next adventure took place in the day. Spider-Man is an equally daytime, nighttime villain. He's not Batman. He doesn't have that kind of chip on his shoulder. He has guilt on his back. And I didn't feel that with Andrew Garfield. I felt like he was too perfect to be Spider-Man. Tom Holland, like I said, I softened on him, but he's still, Spider-Man's always meant to look like, women like him type of thing, but he's still too nerdy. Yeah, maybe Tom Holland's a decent blend. This movie made me like him a little more. Well, Rugis, you're late to the party. You didn't miss too much. We haven't even had our first hour yet, so we're just kind of having fun. Good Morning Pop Culture could be back. Depends on how well it does. Yeah, garbage day here. Oh, man. So let's see. Time to take out the trash. I already did. We made fun of the Little Mermaid. Did we make fun of the Little Mermaid? I feel like it doesn't even need to be made fun of. It's just so absurd. It's like, I guess I rely too heavily on people's, common sense to say, hey, guys, don't listen to it. Well, I don't need to turn into Captain there, Kurt. Let's see. Nick Ricada on the High Council. That'd be cool. I'll talk to Ethan and Jeremy. Well, I don't have to. We get our own guests, so it'd be fun. Whatever you guys want, we want to entertain you. That's, we do work for you. We're the People's Podcast. Well, my show is, at least. Oh, no. Stark did not bone Aunt May, and she's not preggers. That'd be a sick, sick twist. That would be terrible. Oh, my God. I couldn't imagine that. So, I would love to see Kraven's Last Hunt adapted. That would be so much fun. I don't think. That is my favorite Spider-Man story. I think it's the best one, hands down. It's powerful. My only complaint with a lot of these great Spider-Man stories is you have to build. Like, I really enjoy... there's a person driving in their front yard. Okay. Like, I really enjoy the story a lot. Love it. But my complaint is, or my problem is, you have to build to the black suit because you have to have the visual of the black suit. You have to build to so many other things to get there. You have to have a first and a second interaction with Kraven. It would be like with Mysterio. Mysterio is a dumb villain. Jake Gyllenhaal forgot to act midway through the movie. There were moments where you're just like, ugh. Kraven, this needs to be a powerful thing because he shoots himself in the story. And if we're going to have that, well then, damn it, we need to, do more. We need to build to it. Also, if we were to write Peter Parker out of the movie and make it the Superior Spider-Man, we need to introduce Doc Ock and, again, have many, many encounters where Peter beat the hell out of Doc Ock and put him in a coma. Like, one movie, that's one thing the internet forgets, is that these characters are nearly 60 years old, and some of these great stories come from 20 years of buildup. Kraven the Hunter debuted in, the second year of Spider-Man? Maybe first. What is he, issue 13 maybe? So that'd be... And that series was bi-monthly. So let's say in the third year of Spider-Man, Kraven the Hunter debuted. So that would be 1965 or 6. I can't remember. My point is, the character debuted, and by 1987, he had multiple encounters with Spider-Man. And it works that, all these years, my pride, I couldn't, hunt the unimaginable and all this other shit. So, excuse me. So then when he kills himself, it makes sense. To do it in one movie just doesn't make sense. That's all I can say. Did you just quote Han Solo, Sith Lord Luke Skywalker? So Frogdalus does not like this film. So I will do a review proper. But the movie was fine. Like I said, 7 out of 10, 4 out of 10 if it's a Spider-Man movie. Where do I rank it? Middle of the pack, I guess. I'm not going to do the Infinity War, Civil War like IGN did. Just if it's a Spider-Man film, that's where I'm going to rank it. And this one's not as good as Spider-Man or Spider-Man 2. If I'm being honest, I probably think it's better than Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3 is a missed opportunity in many places. And then the Andrew Garfield ones can suck a dick. I hate those movies. So people are slowly moving in. I hate this lack of notifications because we got actually we have 327 people watching right now. That's not terrible, actually. We got 177 thumbs up. Let's hit that thumbs up button, folks. Help spread the word of Good Morning Pop Culture. Now, you got to catch these live so you can interact with me. It's the best way to do it because I take painstaking effort to make sure that we have a conversation, more than just a dialogue, a big group fun, a good way to spend your morning. But these do go away from this channel as soon as I go off the air. So make sure you catch them live. If you can't catch them live, well, they'll be archived somewhere. Maybe the Good Morning Pop Culture channel, maybe the YouTube, the Podbean stream. That's a yes for those wondering. But that's awesome. Oh, Mr. V's got that Spidey game. I might talk about that on the channel this month. Best Spider-Man game ever made, and I stand by it. Love it. I used to say that the 2000 Spider-Man game was the best one ever made, but and Spider-Man 2 was fantastic, as well as Spider-Man 3 the game. People always shit on Spider-Man 3 the game and say, "Oh, this is a terrible game. It's based off a terrible movie." Blah 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 blah. The execution of the game is about as fair, as equal as number 2. The web swinging slightly better. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to compare the graphics too much because they're different console generations, but Spider-Man 3 wasn't a terrible game. It's as monotonous as Part 2. I just don't understand the criticism on one because I guess it's more groundbreaking than the other. To be fair, Grand Theft Auto 3 was more groundbreaking than Vice City, but Vice City is just a better game in every aspect. Yes, I consider the film better than Homecoming Sketch Therapy by a lot, actually. I had fun with this one. Homecoming, I kind of had my hand in my head. So let's see. So people were asking, I'm seeing some Stranger Things discussions, some comments. I am mostly through Stranger Things. I like it enough. I do feel like this season kind of jumped the gun, though, especially in terms of the whole Russian plot. To me, Stranger Things was like a nice modern retelling of 80s sci-fi and horror rolled up into a really nice package, and now it's just becoming too cliched. I'm not angry with it. I didn't pick up on too much agenda yet. I'm sure it's in there somewhere. I got a video I'm working on. I'm not going to tell everything about it because I got to get you guys to watch them somehow. But basically, I think we're at the end of 80s nostalgia and its value. Like, you can't really cash in on 80s anymore. Like, when I was watching this season of Stranger Things, I was thinking to myself, this is all good. But, you can only put so many 80s songs over a montage and make it feel fun and cool. And I think Stranger Things is the end of that. We'll find out. We'll see how you guys feel about it. But some people don't like it, like our buddy Keith in the chat. So, it's gone woke apparently. I guess I'm in the middle of drawing and doing other things when I have it on. So, by the way, of the big batch of pages I've received, I have a handful back from the colorist. So I'll be posting an update on the comic this week. I have to censor certain panels because spoilers. I don't want to spoil it for people that are going to, want to get involved in the other printing. But it's going to be fun. You guys are going to have something to look at. And you'll love it. If Stranger Things 4 will be National Lampoon's Vacation, I can hope. I would love I was wrong about one thing, though, unless they do it later in the season. Well, yeah, they would have to do it later in the season because Back to the Future wouldn't have been out yet. But I'm not seeing a lot of Back to the Future shit. But then again, that movie comes out later, or maybe the second week of July 1985, and this is 4th of July 1985. So they have to. But it was cool to hear the Neutron Dance from Beverly Hills Cop. That was nice. Maybe hear Axel F later would be kind of fun, too. Oh, Superfan Adam Shaw has changed his name to Superfan Adam S. There we go. Boom. Glad you're still with us, man. It's funny. You hear from people a lot. They go away. They come back. Makes me feel good that they always return back. So, Admiral Tiberius, thank you very much for your super chat. Good morning, Jeff. Glad to hear from you this morning. You, sir, have become a meme. That's memorable, huh? I also bought a pop the other day. Forgive me. Well, I'm not the one you need to ask forgiveness from. That's Logan Michael in terms of the Funko Pops. But I won't hold you accountable. Sometimes there's cool ones. I got Axel Foley. I enjoy that. By the way, I need to edit it. It's all filmed. The P.O. Box stuff, I'm so behind on so many things. I apologize. But I will edit the P.O. Box stuff and slowly trickle it out. I'll have something. I want to have something out for this weekend, so we have something to watch. But I've seen all the memes with Jesse, and now people want us to have like a buddy cop show and all this other stuff. Hey, why not? Why not make our own entertainment? She's talented. I'm talented. We can make something funny. Apparently, people think we seem to get along. It's usually the beer that makes us get along, but oh well. Plus, I've seen the picture of my crazy face that I made. And I was just like, huh, when you're on a live stream, basically the trick is to be like Jeremy and not change your expression. There you go. If you don't want to become a meme, you just don't change your expression and you stare at the camera and you yell. I yell at the camera. You can't see my face right now. But yeah, it was an honor to become a meme. That's just part of the job. I embrace it. And Admiral Tiberius says it was a Warhammer 40K pop for only $5. Again, you don't need to explain it to me. You guys do what you want. I don't judge. I have... What do I have? That's Professor X. Professor X is cool. If you buy a Professor X figure, it's okay. I know. But no, I'm not going to hold you to it. So for those joining us, Spider-Man, Tom Holland says he's okay if Spider-Man would be gay. Of course he'd be okay with it. He doesn't want to step on the wrong toes in Hollywood. But I think it was Stan Lee that had some kind of edict that Spider-Man would remain white and straight. Isn't it kind of messed up that we have to worry about the characters remaining who they are? I mean, characters' identity is beyond just sexual orientation. I wish Hollywood would respect these characters. You know how, like Doomcock says, without respect, we reject. Well, it's not even rejecting gay characters. It's rejecting hollow attempts to win 2019 points. The only problem is 2019 points aren't redeemable in 2020 and on. Hell, they've expired this year. So it's just frustrating. I mean, you know, you want to talk about these things. You want to cover them. You want to tell everybody what you think. But I also just want to put my fist through a fucking computer screen. I'm so tired of this shit. Like, I was so happy to be away. The only reason I covered the Spider-Man story the way I did is because Spider-Man's my favorite character, and I thought it was offensively cold-hearted on Disney's stance to, you know, deny the kid the gravestone. What purpose do you have to deny that? Oh, it's Spider-Man. We need to preserve his innocence. What innocence? Let's not forget that, you know, it's his arrogance that caused his uncle to die. He's not this like perfect flighty Disney character. I mean, I know he's legally a Disney character, but he is not a Disney character. He's a character created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. There's angst, there's gravitas, there's weight, there's all kinds of things. If these people at Disney actually knew what they bought instead of look at the dollar signs, one, they'd look at, well, we have a marketable character that we are going to market the hell out of, but we also have a character who has an infinite shelf life if we play our cards right. And like I always say, I'm the biggest Spider-Man fan. If you can push me out of the hobby of collecting comic books, you've done something wrong. With Star Wars, with all this stuff. Like, I don't want to consume the things I love because the people that own it are dicks. I don't want to watch these things. I don't want to do these things. I mean, I watch some of them for the channel. I don't engage with them because of how crappy the climate we live in is in entertainment. Like I said, we live in the alternate 1985, and I don't like it. Let's see where are we at in the chat. You web up my coffin if you want, Jeff. Well, sketch therapy. I hope I'm not going to be in a coffin anytime soon. I'm enjoying my life. I'm very happy to do what I do, and that's the last thing I want to do is be dead. You know. But if I do, contact The Rock, and I want a gravestone of The Rock from the year 2000. All you got to do is Google The Rock 2000. You'll know what he looks like, and get him to perform at my funeral. And everyone's invited too. Bring a covered dish, preferably Frito pie with Wolf Brand chili, and it'll be a party. And bring a sixer. You know, bring a kegger. I'm a big dude. Drink a keg. All of you bring a keg and drink it in honor of me. So in the future, when I go away, I would like to think I'll outlive my channel. I'd like to think it. So I think we will. Let's see. Stranger Things 4 will revolve around 7 causing Chernobyl time. It's kind of funny how we get this. Okay, remember how there was like was a Deep Impact and Armageddon, and then there was what was the other? There are 2 movies that came out. They were like the same, White House Down and Olympus Has Fallen. It's like Stranger Things and Chernobyl. Well, clearly like not the exact same thing. They cover very similar things, but they came out roughly at the same time. It's like Beverly Hills Cop and Fletch. They're similar, but you couldn't have ripped each other off because it came out 6 months apart. And this was in the 80s when it took, movie reporting wasn't the same. I would have taken like a spy to relay. They probably were filming at the same time at some points because, well, no. Beverly Hills Cop came out in December, Fletch June of 85. I digress. So you can put Mummy 2 Rock on your gravestone, crab hands and all. Well, to be fair, Macho Man, the Rock from the Mummy 2 was 2001 Rock. I want Mr. Spock Sideburns Rock, world title, $500 shirt. You choose the color. Just make sure it's accurate to when he held the belt in the year 2000. That's all I ask for. Do I think blackwashing the popular characters is okay as long as The Rock is playing him? Well, I don't, because, well, like I said earlier, Rock is not black, just in the way I was that I'm not black. We have multiple races, and it's like, I don't say this as like an offended person because it's me. You guys know me. I will give myself that credit. If you listen to me, you get the real me in person on here. There's no filter. There's no lie. The channel is called World Class Bullshitters because it's ironic, but you get the truest sense of me. But when I say this, there is more races than one with The Rock. There's more races than me. Now, do I want The Rock to race swap any famous characters? No, I don't want anybody to. I honestly think as a studio, as somebody that buys these rights and properties, you are beholden to make it look. If it's a visual thing, if I wrote a book and I don't really describe my character at all, I just describe like, they're whatever, and you make them look slightly different. It's okay, like James Bond. Sean Connery was, I think, Scottish, right? Yeah. And they wrote that into the backstory. Ian Fleming was so impressed, he wrote it in there because he liked him. So changes like that are fine, but no, Rock can't do it. Action roles, he's The Rock. Let him play himself in movies and just make money, like Hobbs and Shaw. American Myth, thank you very much for your super chat. Stranger Things, bet on nostalgia factor like Disney did with Star Wars. Then they use it as a propaganda tool, betraying the fans. We have to make our own art. Yes, folks, we do. I make my own art. I make my comic books. God, I have low res samples, but I honestly have to cut out some things because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. But yeah, we do have to make our own art. We do what we do here on YouTube. We entertain you guys. We're always trying to come up with new concepts. We have big concepts coming soon. But nostalgia is a powerful tool, but eventually it runs out. I bet in the year 2000, when people went and saw Not Another Teen Movie, and they heard Don't You Forget About Me by Simple Minds, and they're like, Breakfast Club, reference, yeah, nostalgia, cool. And then as we move further and further and further, it gets less and less impactful. But then we see like Cobra Kai, and Cobra Kai was awesome. And you get like a rush of not only nostalgia, but with Cobra Kai, you get really, really great storytelling. And to me, one of the best hallmarks of a good story is like when the hero becomes the villain and the villain becomes the hero. You sympathize with them because of where they are in their life. Now, Star Wars, Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker never becomes the villain until we get to Episode 8, which we don't talk about, which we could clearly talk about. Just send your questions in. But Vader, redeems himself. I love a good redemption story. That's why I go on and on about Robert Downey Jr. I'm not looking to interview him. I'm not looking for, bonus points or karma points or anything. But I do look at him and go, what a good redemption, a great redemption story. Love a comeback. Love to see that people, can fix their lives and come back and change. And with Cobra Kai, Johnny is kind of the hero. Johnny is the audience in today's woke culture. Johnny is common sense in many ways. Yes, he does have some archaic views, but Daniel-san is a dick and the real villain of the story. And I enjoy that so much. That is refreshing. That is when you can play on nostalgia, when you can take something old and give me a new spin on it. Continuations don't feel as hollow as remakes and reboots. Okay, so for example, if you do the Beverly Hills Cop 4 that I'm dying to make myself one day, no problem there. It's a continuation. We just put the character in the same, the current day, and we make fun of current day. But if you remake it with Brandon T. Jackson and Ice Cube as Detective Inspector Todd, I'm going to have a problem. The Stranger Things nostalgia was cool for a while. I just don't see the same. I don't know the numbers from Netflix. Nobody does. You don't. I don't. Maybe Doomcock does at the center of the earth. But what I do see is smaller merchandise pushes, less discussion on social media. Like I said at the beginning of Jessica Jones, who talked about Jessica Jones this year? Hardly anybody. So these things are, diminishing returns. Dante's Peak and Volcano. Yeah, those are similar. God. I used to love Volcano. I watched that movie a whole bunch as a kid. Luke did become the master of moisture farming. Yeah, he developed Kylo Ren, who is a whiny bitch. He's a moisture farmer himself. Let's see, where are we at? I like the monsters and the action. I guess you're talking about Stranger Things Season 3. I like, it's okay from what I'm watching. I'm not into it. I kind of want to watch it right now, but we got a show to do. So Spider-Man clearly was a success. That's cool. I thought the movie would have made more money. I know when I went to the theater up in Columbus, there were only a few seats available next to each other, which, it's a Marvel flick, expect that. But I just thought there would be a little more. Do you guys think we're at the law of diminishing returns with all this stuff? I just feel like it's almost hard to care about entertainment right now. It's almost like I feel like I need to just exile myself from all the bullshit and entertainment. Maybe I need to become a little more. That's an idea I won't say on air. Never mind. But I will say this: all the Spider-Man talk really is annoying me. Like even I'm a little burnt out on it. I'm just like meh. So. Okay, this will be an interesting topic to cover. By the way, folks, if you've seen Spider-Man, press 1 in the chat. I want to cover something that's kind of a spoiler. So, yes, the mysterious scene was awesome, Mr. V. I loved it. Loved it entirely. I thought it was probably the coolest moment in the film. And, I recommend people go check that one out. Oh, this is a great point. Remember, Disney needs to preserve their characters' innocence and magic so they can't be put on tombstones, but they can be on dating sim phone app games. Look up Disney's Twisted Wonderland and the double bullshit on that statement. That was a tweet I received. I just try to be positive at times, and sometimes you just want to fucking scream. So, let's see what you guys are saying. Yes, the J.K. Simmons scene was phenomenal. I cheered. Like I said, Jessie was there. She heard it. I cheered like I was at WrestleMania when it came time to, see the J.K. Simmons, J. Jonah Jameson scene. I freaked out. He's back. He is Alex Jones, which is a little weird, but I get it in the context of today and what they're trying to do. I can't wait for the next film. Now, speaking of the next film, Spider-Man being unmasked. By the way, this Spider-Man drawing looks a lot like Paul Rudd. With Spider-Man being unmasked, people are assuming that they're mimicking the One More Day storyline from Civil War, which I read when it was new. Admittedly, I liked One More Day and Back in Black when it was all coming out. Once they did the deal with the Devil and Mephisto, didn't really like it. The only thing, and I'm gritting my teeth here to say this to you, the only thing I could enjoy from it would be if when if they do the storyline and he makes the deal with the Devil, everything goes to like classic Spider-Man, because they lied to you. There's no multiverse. There's no 616, this, that, and the other. Mysterio is a former Stark employee. Remember Barf, the binary augmented reframing whatever from Civil War, where Iron Man looks at a young version of himself? That was created by Jake Gyllenhaal and the kid from A Christmas Story. And yes, they've been paid by Stark, so Stark didn't screw them out financially, but they wanted revenge on Tony Stark. They made up this Mysterio storyline, and people bought it hook, line, and sinker. So Mysterio is a hack, but that's how Mysterio should be. And I did like when Spider-Man jumped through the smoke and punched him in the glass dome, just like in the comic books. But I'm hoping we'll get something like that. But with the Thanos snap, wouldn't this be too similar to the Thanos snap to have Mephisto come and wipe everything out? We'll see. Admiral Tiberius, thank you very much. Jeff, I am tired of remakes. You see what I post in the group. I love war stuff, but the Midway movie is just a moderate remake. I want something new. I want something new as well. I want something else to get me through this semi-charm. I'm done. I'm not going to even quote that song. Sorry. I'm sorry I even had the thought. I apologize. I do see what you posted in the group. War movies are cool. I have no problems. I will say this. War movies and prison movies are two types of films that when I watch them, I'm glad they're over, because I'm going on the journey with the characters. I don't want to be in prison, and I don't want to be at war. When it comes to real-life war stuff, you definitely look back with some reverence. You respect the people that did what they did. Always. I don't say this to win brownie points, but we have a big military following on this channel. So go where it is. You guys want to talk about war stuff, military stuff, go for it. You want to have Veterans Day streams? We've had them. We'll continue to have them annually. It's not a problem. But I do like war movies. I like when they're over, because I'm in the story. I'm will so-and-so, will Jonesy survive? Will this person survive? Blah, blah, blah. Sometimes the gut-wrenching stories are good. You feel terrible. You watch grown men cry over the stuff. But at the end, you're kind of glad you are where you are in terms of society. So I do like my war movies at times. And, no woke war films. Well, we should make a movie called Woke War 3, if you can actually say the title. Ooh, that'd be a good comic book. I'm done. No more free ideas today, folks. No more free ideas. Heroic Avenger 96 says, there's a young guy out there, Allied High Top Films, who's a big Raimi fan and critic of current Spidey. Check out his latest video on Far From Home as soon as possible. All right, well, let me take a screenshot of your super chat, because I do that with all the recommendations, and I will watch them. Hell, maybe we'll even get together and have a live stream. I'm dying to talk with other big YouTubers that love Spider-Man. Spider-Man's my favorite character. I could go on and on for hours. I try not to get into the minutia to bore people. Spider-Man expert doesn't look cool on a resume, and it doesn't get you chicks. But what it does do is it makes for compelling entertainment, because my secret to YouTube, for anyone out there that wants to do it, is to be knowledgeable. I don't cover everything, but what I do cover, I cover in great detail. I know my shit. When I covered Star Wars toys, who else? This is not me bragging, but who else did it better and who else did it bigger? Nobody. That is, if you say, what is the one thing that you did bigger and better than anyone on YouTube? I would say the Star Wars toy coverage. No one else did it the way I did. No one else went out into the field, did all the stuff. I actually got another one of those videos coming up. I wish, YouTube was a little more stable right now so I could pump out more stuff, because I put in the effort, but I do hate when it's like, oh yeah, here we go, and it's like, oh hey, 1,000 views. I'm like, fuck, what is up with YouTube? My audience is there. You guys have never turned your back on me, and you never will, because I will never turn my back on you. It's just frustrating. But I do have a couple of those classic big videos that are in the works. But you got to know your shit. I mean, what are Jeff's 3 keys to having a successful YouTube channel? Know your shit, respect your audience, and be regular. And 2 of those sound like bathroom-related topics. Whatever. I don't care. You guys get what I'm getting at. Sorry. But I will check out High Top Films. I'm a big Raimi fan. Not just Spider-Man, Evil Dead. I know this sounds dumb, but I've always kind of felt a weird connection to Sam Raimi because I went to Michigan State, because I wanted to make films. On my old computer, I have things I would shoot on an old digital camera and try to tell stories and do all kinds of stuff. I've always wanted to be a storyteller. I'm doing it through comics. I eventually want to evolve into, self-produced skits, movies, whatever I'm going to make. I want to make it, but I just want to tell good stories. Short, compact stories that either make you think, make you laugh, make you feel something, and leave you happy, satisfied, and entertained. And Sam Raimi has always done that for me. Huge fan. Oh, I know Gary is a Spider-Man fan. Gary's cool. I'll have Gary on the channel soon. Maybe I'll see. You know what? Now I'll do it off air. But I'll message him and see if he wants to come on and talk Spider-Man with me. I'll do it right now, because that would be a lot of fun. What's my favorite war movie? Well, Star Wars doesn't count because it's not a real war film. And Tropic Thunder is a parody or a comedy of a war film. Dirty Dozen? Great movie. I really liked it. I kind of wanted them to all get out and survive and have a happy ending, but not how it happens. So I did like that movie. Platoon's good. I've seen that many a times. Full Metal Jacket, I know the beginning. I can't remember how it ends. I know that's like everybody else. Sorry. But that's the truth with me. Let's see. My favorite Aunt May is going to be the original Aunt May, Rosemary Harris. I will say Marissa Tomei is a MILF to the nth degree. Love her. But, I don't think Aunt May is supposed to be sexy. That's just me, though. If you like a sexy Aunt May, then watch the new films. I kind of like sick Aunt May. I want Spider-Man to have more problems than, does MJ like me? I want to be a kid. Blah, blah, blah. That is very modern. It's like whatever the next generation after millennial is. It's like Spider-Man's got to be worried about his homework, his acne, his aunt dying, J. Jonah Jameson trying to get him killed. He's got to be, worried from all aspects. It makes the character interesting. You're supposed to feel better about yourself by watching Spider-Man fail. And then when he succeeds, you feel a great sense of pride because you've been there with him for the whole ride. So I'm going to shoot a message to Gary real quick. Because you just guys got to request it. I'll make it happen. Now, I'll be back on Wednesday night with one of our listeners. So our Patreon, one of our patrons, Salvador, you know him. He's a moderator, big supporter of the World Class Bullshitters channel. He requested on the 10th to have a stream. So catch us on Wednesday night. We're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff. But as you know, the Patreon streams are patron requested. So it's your way to talk to me, talk to the audience, talk about whatever you want to cover. So I'm going to guess it's going to be about 8:30, 9 o'clock Wednesday night. So that's Eastern Standard Time as always. Yes, I want to get Gary is one of my favorite people to nerd out with. Like, Dion is my best friend. That'll never, ever change. But he likes Spider-Man to a certain degree. Me, I like it to a point. It's like Channel Dad Brian Lape is with beer. I like Spider-Man to a point where if I talk about it for so long, it might not become fun to consume it. So with Gary, I can say, yeah, well, when Ditko drew this issue, blah, blah, blah. And you're just like, who's Ditko? Well, Steve Ditko is co-creator of Spider-Man with Stan Lee. First artist on the book. Drew the book for 38 issues. That kind of stuff. Those types of discussions are fun. Yeah, Gary is awesome. We all get along. Like, you know how certain actors would just deal with each other to, for the shows. You've heard about these people on the sets of sitcoms and like, oh, I hate so and so and this and that or whatever, but they do it because the pay is good. Here in the Fandom Menace, we all get along. Like, we're trying to all get together to hang out at one point. So, let's make that happen. I do agree that Uncle Ben was replaced by Tony Stark. There's no mention of great power, great responsibility. Uncle Ben, I don't like that. Like, Tony Stark's cool. I get that. And you're going to feel that he's gone. But at the same time, Spider-Man's supposed to have his own motivations for his heroic deeds. It's just not there anymore. I just don't feel it. The best line of that first movie is, I have a father, his name was Ben Parker, and then Green Goblin's like, Godspeed, Spider-Man. See, now that's how you do the father dynamic, where, he had Uncle Ben, he felt lost, he has his mentor in Norman Osborn and all this other stuff, and then, the Jekyll and Hyde dynamic of Norman Osborn, Green Goblin, he turns on him. There's just, whatever happened to the classics in storytelling? There are the classics for a reason. When you adapt them and some of the tropes and ideals and put them in a modern setting, you have some great stuff. That's what Star Wars is. Star Wars is some of its parts. Star Wars is not wholly original. It's Joseph Campbell's myth and basically just a sci-fi fantasy setting. And it works. It became the biggest thing ever. And yeah, I'm going to stand by Star Wars has become the biggest thing ever. There's the culture war that's about, preserving Star Wars. There's all kinds of stuff. Yeah, visuals have replaced storytelling. That's true. Why can't we have both? I do love the visuals of, the Avengers fighting Thanos and all this crazy stuff, but I also do love a good, impactful story. What was that movie? Oh, God. There's this movie called, like, Exam or something. Not the greatest movie ever, but it takes place in one room. It's about a test. I thought that was pretty cool, and it's got no impressive visuals whatsoever. Lethal Lightning, thank you very much, all the way from Australia. He says, MCU gave us Iron Boy, not so much Spider-Man. So yeah, it's like in Batman Forever. That's not Batman, that's Batboy. Yeah, this isn't Spider-Man, this is Iron Boy. I get what they're trying to do, but that's one problem. Like, remember how we talked earlier in the stream about Spider-Man, you can't tell certain stories because you haven't had decades of build. Well, the same thing goes with this. It's like, oh, Mr. Stark and him are supposed to have this relationship and this and that, and it's supposed to feel like it's such a great loss for Peter. And I'm just like, yo, I don't get that. You didn't tell me enough story. So I know that sounds kind of crazy, but the audience isn't dumb. I'd argue the audience is smarter than it's ever been. You do have the mouth breathers who follow the brand. It's Captain Marvel loyalists. That's a joke. But you do need to tell something to stand the test of time. But I do miss Iron Man as time goes by. You got to have that big charisma. It's like Endgame took out the two biggest pillars of the Marvel support structure. And yeah, it'll be nice to watch Spider-Man try to live up to that name, but I don't think they will. That's a good point. Why didn't Tony use the drones in the fight with Thanos? Because it looks so much cooler when Doctor Strange opens up the portals for everybody. I did not like that. I did not like that at all. So, folks, what do we want to talk about this morning? I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like I said, I got in, made this video, tried to come back and do this. Everyone's so fixated on Spider-Man's gravestone and the Black Little Mermaid. I'm like, I want to talk about something fun. Make me laugh. Post something that's going to make me laugh, and we'll cover that as well. I don't want to talk about anything sad. I don't want to talk about the kid from the Disney Channel dying. And, it's weird, too, how pop culture has become so homogenized that none of these websites even have their own identity. Like, yeah, they all kiss Disney's ass, but it's like 50 articles about Spider-Man, this, that, and the other, Oh, here we go. This could be fun. We're gonna do a countdown this morning. IGN put this out. I want you guys to agree or disagree. This will be a lot of fun. I expect to see a lot of angry reacts. I expect to see a lot of responses. But whatever I see, folks, please make sure you hit us with the thumbs up. We got 357 watching. Let's let's get those thumbs up. So, where are we at? Let me share this screen. This might piss people off. This might make people happy. And let's see. We'll screen share it. Boom, boom, boom. So this is IGN's 25 best movie blockbusters. So let's see. Number 25 isn't here. Well, unidentified or undefined Anchorman. So I guess number 25 is Anchorman. All right, I love Anchorman. It's a great movie. Do you think it's top 25 of all time summer blockbusters? I didn't realize it was summer blockbuster. Great movie though, fun. I even like part 2. Not better than part 1, but I do like it. Number 24, Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. Best Star Trek movie, hands down. J.J. Abrams can go take a flying leap. I don't care from what or to where, but I do love The Wrath of Khan. So my introduction to Star Trek is a little different than a lot of people. I didn't grow up with a family that loved science fiction. It was just my mom and I. And she doesn't like sci-fi. She doesn't like anything that's not realistic. She watches bullshit like Dangerous Liaisons, which is a terrible movie. I say to myself, Mom, why do you watch this? Oh, it's so intense. It's so deep. You got to watch it. No, I don't. I watched it once as a kid on television, and I bought it on DVD a couple years ago. Hate Dangerous Liaisons. It's not for me. So now my mom didn't keep me from watching what I wanted. I just had to discover it on my own, and she embraced whatever. So I wanted to watch X-Men and Spider-Man and Batman and Power Rangers, and I had the toys and the games and everything that went with it. Great mom. Wouldn't change her for anything. But Star Trek, my relationship with it was much different than a lot of people's. I would catch reruns in the 90s on the Sci-Fi Channel. And then in like 96-ish, 95-ish, Star Trek got real popular again. We had already had The Next Generation for a couple seasons. I remember the Borg build-up. I used to like Jean-Luc Picard for some reason. I didn't even really know who he was. I just thought he was cool. And like when I would go to King's Island, it was Paramount's King's Island at the time. There was a lot of Star Trek presence there. A lot of Star Trek The Next Generation. You would see Klingons. You would see people walking around in full costume, Borg suits. They would play the Star Trek The Next Generation theme, which is essentially the movie theme song from the first film. And then the older I got, I would really watch the original series. And then when I hung out with my buddy Joel, we would watch the movies. And so I'll never forget the first time I saw The Wrath of Khan was probably around 2010. And we got Chipotle, and he's like, all right, I got this on Blu-ray. You're going to watch this movie. And I watched it. I was hooked. Star Trek II is phenomenal. I don't have anything bad to say about it. The buried alive part is awesome. You can't not love it. If you're not a Star Trek fan, still give it a shot. This was The Voyage Home, with aka Save the Whales. I do like some Star Trek movies a lot. And I would put this, on a list of the best summer blockbusters of all time. This movie is awesome. I'm not a Doomcock or Gary level Star Trek fanatic, but I absolutely love this movie. So, by the way, folks, when I'm covering this, please let me know what you think of these answers. So, Admiral Tiberius says, are you interested in the Crawl movie? I got to look that up real quick, because I don't even know what the hell it is. Let's see. Crawl movie. Sorry, folks. I'll get back to things. So, Crawl 2019 film. Yeah, it's the hurricane movie. I'll check it out. Oh, alligators. This is like Hurricane Heist. I'll probably love it on Netflix. But it looks cool. I wouldn't be opposed to it. So we're getting a lot of love on Star Trek The Wrath of Khan. Lots of cons! My voice is shot. I sound like a rooster. Sorry. Anyway, Dark Knight wait. I think they fucked up this list, because it's meant to be 25, but then you keep getting these undefined. Star Wars. So is this meant to be Return of the Jedi? Because it says the final chapter in George Lucas's original Star Wars trilogy. Yeah. Okay, well, Return of the Jedi is a fantastic film. Is it better than Wrath of Khan? I like it more because it's Star Wars. I always like Star Wars more than Star Trek, but they're really great films, both of them. The Dark Knight, number 22. My relationship with this film has remained largely unchanged. I think it's a great film. I really like it. I do think some of the hype surrounding it is a little much, but I did see it on opening day and loved it, and still do to this day. I own the Blu-ray. I got the action figures. I still like Jack Nicholson as the Joker the best, but it's a great film. And does anyone say anything about it in the chat? Doesn't really look like it. Well, yeah, how the hell is The Dark Knight so far down? I don't know how it's so far down. The Dark Knight is just far down. Number 21, Inception. I love this movie. I guess it is technically a summer blockbuster. And it's so weird to see some of these actors look so different. Like DiCaprio looks different nowadays. Tom Hardy, he looks dumb in this movie, but I like Tom Hardy. He's a cool dude. Cool actor, at least. I don't know him personally. If I did, I'd tell you crazy Tom Hardy stories, like how he got drunk in the desert while making Mad Max, but we didn't, so I can't. I know everybody but this dude. Whoever this random guy is in the background with the beard and the Jerry curl. No, I don't know you, sir, but I know everyone else. So Inception's a good movie. Tell me in the chat if you guys think it was a dream, if the little spinning top was actually getting ready to tumble. I want to know your theories on it. Yeah, it's like 10 years old at this point. Nobody really talks about Inception anymore, but it's interesting. Ghostbusters is 20? Come on. Ghostbusters is better than 20. I do agree Ghostbusters is better than every film we've listed so far, but Ghostbusters is going to be held to a different standard. Will Ghostbusters be better than the shit beneath it? We did a 35-year-old or a 35th anniversary commentary for Ghostbusters the other week, which was awesome, a lot of fun. Loved it, loved the film. I don't have a bad thing to say about it. I wouldn't change a single line of dialogue, a special effect, nothing. Ghostbusters is a top 10 favorite of mine. I love it. You guys do too. And I'm just thankful that society loves it so much that they're like, we're not putting up with this bullshit of the Melissa McCarthy film. Oh, God, I do not think The Rock is better than Ghostbusters. Oh, wait, hold on. We had a super chat from the Grand Inquisitor. Jeff, check out the channel Djibouti Dubs. He dubs over the 70s Spider-Man cartoon and other stuff. It's good for some laughs. Also, order some coffee. You know what? I need to order my coffee. I apologize. So, Grand Inquisitor, you sent me a birthday gift, and I meant to do it. I just got sidetracked. Hold on. Where's a pen? Where's a pen? Sorry, I'm disoriented this morning. You can hear the marker. Order Black Rifle coffee. Boom. I will do it today. I'm actually going to put some ketogenic powder in my coffee because it's made for that. So I'm trying out some new stuff. Now, Djibouti Dubs. I do know who Djibouti Dubs is. First off, thank you very much for your $5 super chat. I greatly appreciate it. I do know Djibouti Dubs. I haven't seen the Spider-Man videos. I do want to check them out, though, because I like to laugh. We all need a good laugh. That'll be on my list of things to watch in the near future. There we go. Put a scoop of this in my coffee. So, if it's the vintage Spider-Man cartoon from the, was it 1967 is when it came out, but it ran until 1970. That old cartoon, man, the memes alone make that cartoon worth your time. If you haven't seen the original Spider-Man cartoon, the theme song's great. I love that. I'll never forget summer 2004, the year Spider-Man 2 came out. Have you ever been so excited for a movie that it like just blew your mind when it came out and it was great? That was Spider-Man 2 for me. I couldn't wait. It was everything I wanted. I'm trying to think of another film that was like that. It's just like life in general. You know, you put so much anticipation towards something, so much hype. You think about it all the time. And then the most satisfying thing is when you walk out and say, it was just as good as I wanted it to be. It was as good as I needed it to be. Spider-Man 2 was that for me. A lot of things, I will say, I'm at a point in my life where certain things I look forward to in like real life do deliver. You know, sometimes you have these moments that you don't expect and they over-deliver and you start to think about things differently and you're a much different person. And those are surprising. You know, the monotony of everyday life, no matter if it's what I do, what you do, after a while, You know, you're just kind of meh on anything. And then something happens and you're just different and you feel better about life. You feel more motivated. You have a different outlook on these things. And I'm rambling now. I'm sorry. I meant to be talking about your question. Anyway, long story short, Spider-Man the 60s cartoon came out on DVD back in the day. I bought it. I've watched every episode multiple times. I'll watch the Djibouti dubs to check it out. I'm so sorry. That was an odd tangent. Sorry. Okay, so The Rock, number 20, or whatever the number The Rock is. 19, The Rock. Is that the greatest one? I don't know. I do love that movie. I'm a Con Air man myself for Nicolas Cage summer hits. I do like Face Off as well. But The Rock is a great film. The only fan theory I buy into is that Sean Connery was James Bond and they kept him locked up for all those years. I kind of like that one. I love Sean Connery. When he dies, I will shed a tear. So that's going to be a sad, sad day. Number 18, Iron Man. Great list, or great film. I still think Ghostbusters is better. I'm trying to say it. I would put Ghostbusters higher on the list. We talk about Marvel flicks all the damn time. You know, Iron Man is probably... Is Iron Man the best Marvel film? Could be for some. Could be, you know, not for others. But I love it. Oh, it's so much. Oh, God, people are making amazing Spider-Man jokes. Spider-Man 2 is amazing. I'll shut up now. When I'm writing these videos, I try not to say that, but I want to say, like, oh, Spider-Man's amazing, spectacular, sensational. Peter Parker, you know, it's just like, oh, they get it. Bad pun. I have not seen the Spectacular Spider memes. I'm going to have to check it out. I will definitely watch those. I need a good laugh. Good morning to Jonathan Hurst, one of my local listeners. Shout out to you, my friend. Thank you very much. So this is the list of the countdown, or just, I guess this is a countdown list for the 25 best. If it was an in general list, I guess you could put the best ones first and just sprinkle it through, but it seems to be whatever. I don't know. So Iron Man's on this list. Then the Avengers. Yeah, I mean, I agree with every film on this list. I don't know if we're ranking them that way. But I do love the Avengers. This is probably one of the best scenes of all the MCU right here, when the Avengers assemble for the first time. It's weird. I really was craving the smaller core Avengers in the build-up to Endgame. And then we got them in the film, and I liked it. But there's something... Maybe it's because they win. It's the optimism at the end of the first film. You know, the possibilities are endless back in 2012. Where are the Avengers going to go next? What are they going to do? I don't necessarily think Age of Ultron delivered in terms of what I wanted. Infinity War did, and Endgame was a bittersweet ending, which people say need to happen. I don't. I'm of the mindset these characters can go on forever. It's just how they do in publication. See what's next. E.T. Never seen it. Never want to see it. E.T. is a film that I do not love. Because, well, I can't say I don't love it because I've never seen it. But I just don't have any interest in it. I'm going to move on. If you like E.T., let me know. I'm sure I'm missing Stranger Things references. Here we go. Aliens. Another Joel movie. This is Joel's favorite movie. I like Aliens quite a bit. Not necessarily my favorite James Cameron film. That would probably go to Terminator 2. Yeah, I like Terminator 2 better than Terminator 1. I do like both. But this is a great movie. Really no criticisms of it. I can't shit on it. Ripley's great. The effects are great. I love all of it. So I'm not going to just sit here and go, it's so great. I'm going to move on. Back to the Future, my favorite movie of all time. Look at that poster. That is my second favorite movie poster of all time. I need to get one framed. So for those wondering, my favorite movie poster is Star Wars. I guess it's called the Sheet C, the one with Luke Skywalker in the middle with the gun. Love it. Now, Back to the Future is my favorite movie of all time. I don't know. It just makes me feel good about life. I don't necessarily need happy endings in all these stories, but I think they add to the longevity of this type of film. If this movie ended like Back to the Future 2 does, I think we'd have a problem. Though that would be an interesting edit, where you watch Back to the Future all through part 1, through the eyes of Marty, and then he comes back, I'm back, Doc. I'm back from the future, and then it ends. And you're like, what? See, that's the kind of bullshit you would get today, and that's why the movies today aren't as timeless. Because you get some dumb crap. We're gonna troll the audience. We're gonna get talked about on the internet. We're gonna trend on social media. quality. Your audiences aren't going to all be on social media. Like kids go see Back to the Future. Some kids are on social media, some are not. Just take that into account. What do I have to say about it? An enduring time travel classic, Back to the Future made a movie star out of a TV star, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Back to the Future, my favorite movie. Armageddon. Unpopular opinion, I don't like this movie at all. Like, I really don't like Armageddon. It's so hokey. I'll get back to the second. Acid Blade 21, thank you very much. Jeff, quick question. How is it that Disney, Marvel can have Spider-Man in their movies while Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man? I'm pretty sure that it's an agreement that they made where he can appear in this, because I'm pretty sure Spider-Man merchandise is owned by Disney outright. It's a confusing, legal web, pun intended. I remember it was 2016 when they made the announcement. Or was it 2015 when they made the announcement of Spider-Man being in the MCU? Because in this film, there's no Disney on anything. I guess it's more of an agreement like, well, hey, if we put, we can do Spider-Man movies, but it's part of the MCU, we get the other actors involved in that and all that other stuff. I'm sure it's you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours until I buy your company and put you out of business and mine your resources sort of arrangement. I know that sounds a little harsh, but it is Disney. What do you expect? It's a small world after all. Bullshit. No, it's all business here. That's the best that I can tell you. It's just a licensing agreement type of thing. But I'm pretty sure when Marvel was going bankrupt, they sold a portion of the character. Like Sony owns a portion of Spider-Man, which is weird too because Sony could have bought most of Marvel's like film rights. I'm pretty sure I read an article not too long ago that discussed that, and they said, "Oh, we just want Spider-Man." Imagine if the MCU was all Sony. Like Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire started it, and we started to get the influx. I mean, I know Fox had X-Men, but the other stuff, we had this big influx. That'd be kind of crazy. I wish Alex Ross would get commissioned to do a series of comic books where it's like, what if the MCU was built from Spider-Man? So we got these photorealistic comic book renderings of Tobey Maguire and these other actors we cast in the roles and just this big final battle. It probably would have sucked. May not have. Who knows? It's funny. Everybody wants to look back and say, oh, pre-MCU Marvel is terrible movies. All of them, they suck. No, they don't. You suck. Thank you. I think Marvel will do a Sinister Six film. I hope. I just hope they do it right. So the Sinister Six is with Vulture, Doc Ock, Electro, Kraven, Mysterio, Sandman. Yeah, that's it. So you need to introduce quite a few. You think they'll ever introduce Sandman again? I don't think so. I hope not. If Sony owns the rights to the Avengers game, would be a PS4 exclusive. Shit, I can pass up on the Avengers game. No, thank you. That looks terrible. People did not like that video, but I don't care. That game looked like trash. And until they update it, because they said free DLC, so I'm not trying to get anything besides some better looking costumes out of the film. So we have Armageddon here. There's just something about Armageddon in the 90s nostalgia that that's good. That I just don't dig. Never liked the movie. Only thing I remember is the song by Aerosmith, which I do like. I like Aerosmith. My uncle really likes Aerosmith. So what do we got next? The Empire Strikes Back is supposed to be here. Thanks, IGN. Learn to code. Die Hard, best action movie of all time. I was there for it in the theaters. By there, I mean my mom was pregnant with me when Die Hard came out. So I was there. If you saw Die Hard in theaters, press 1 in the chat. Let me know if you were old enough to see Die Hard when it first came out in July of 1988. Like I said, I was in the womb, but I was technically there, and I, that's me. Okay, so we got some people who were there, saw it in theater. So we've had Adam Shawhan, Dorothy Gamer SD, Jaded Fett. Quite a few, actually. Okay. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Die Hard is also one of the greatest movies ever made. I will go back to college and write a thesis on it just to get my point across. So, folks, if you'd like me to go back to college to write a thesis paper, help us fund it because I don't want any more student debt. The one I have, the amount I have now is already crippling. So, we'll do a WCBS college fund. Why'd you go back to school, Jeff? To prove your point, to get a master's note, to write why Die Hard is the greatest film ever made. I got an A. Suck a dick. Sorry, I was a little mean-spirited. Mad Max Fury Road. Great movie. You know, I was really amped by this movie when it first came out. Like, I was really, really, really into it. I'm talking, like, Phil and I went to see it, then we went back to see Age of Ultron again, and it just didn't do it for me. This movie blew me away. But I haven't watched it in, like, 4 years, and I don't know if I ever will watch it again. It's one of those films that I like the memory of the film more than I like the actual act of watching the film. So, whatever. See, Top Gun, Kendo's favorite documentary about America. I like it too, kind of. No, I don't. I love the song Danger Zone. And there's just something about Top Gun, I just don't get it. You know, I'm all about patriotic, yay, USA, all these movies. That's fine. It was the 80s. It was the Cold War. Much different time. A much, I wouldn't say simpler time. We had other concerns. We weren't worried about misgendering people. We were worried about not dying from nuclear apocalypse. But I'm sorry. Maybe, I think that the nuclear apocalypse option is much more concerning than I offended somebody on the internet. Oh, well, that's just me. Darn. But yes, Danger Zone is a great song. Yes, Archer, Kenny Loggins. Yeah, I listened to Danger Zone on the ride home yesterday. I actually threw my hand out and pointed as like, Danger Zone. I hope none of you meet me when I'm just like, or see me when I'm just driving or doing something. I look like the biggest idiot in the world. I'm also like 6'6" and giant, so you just see this giant dude in a small car rocking out the Danger Zone. It's a sight to behold. And if you ever find me doing it and you tweet me on Twitter, I'm going to send you some free shit because that's going to be hilarious. Hilarious. Let's see what else we got. Batman 89. Oh, wait. Pirates of the Caribbean's on there, too. I love the first one. So we're talking, Curse of the Black Pearl. Really good movie. I don't like the other ones. Batman 89. Do I need to say more about this film? Do I need to gush over Batman 89? Do I need to talk about how important it is to me, how important it is to our pop culture landscape today, how, people still say you ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight, or I'm of a mind to make some mookie, or hubba, 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 money, money, money. Who do you trust? Do I need to say those things? Did I need to say those things? You let me know. I did say those things, and I'm very happy that I did. Batman 89, it's an anniversary year. People are coming out of the woodwork to discuss it. It's good. It makes me feel happy that there is an audience still for this movie. Yes, people like Dark Knight more, other Batman films more, but you can like these other films, but let's not forget how important these movies were culturally. And let's not act like just because they're not the newest, sexiest version that they all suck. If you remade Dirty Harry, the originals would still be better because Clint Eastwood's the man. All right, we got a lot of people rolling in. There's Darth Dirkle the Wise Ass. What's up? We got a listener named Darth Fatass. I just absolutely love that dude. Just wanted to give him a shout out if he's ever listening to the chat. That dude is hilarious. So we have Independence Day. I saw Independence Day in the theaters as a kid. It was one of those movies that blew me away at the scale. I won't call it my Star Wars because Star Wars was my Star Wars. But I just remember seeing this. And when it came out on video, it was an event. And it's one of those movies I acknowledge that it's not that great or even at times good, but I absolutely love it. It's my favorite 4th of July movie. When I was hanging out with Jesse, I was like, I need to watch this today. She's like, yeah, we couldn't find a copy on TV, or it wasn't on TV, so we didn't watch it. Wanted to. Maybe I'll make up for it by watching it later today. But I do like this. I know it's hokey, but that speech at the end of the movie about we will not go quietly into the night kind of works. Kind of works. I do like this movie. This is like one of those where my memories are better than the film itself, but I still feel good about all of it. There's Darth Fatass. What's up? Oh, what else do we have here? We have Terminator 2, one of the all-time classics. I should do a modern classics list because it's funny. When you go to the classics, you get like Citizen Kane, Wizard of Oz, Gone with the Wind, Maltese Falcon, stuff like that. But the modern classics are much more genre-oriented and different. And they're not winning Oscars, but that doesn't mean... I think a classic has to be a quality film, but culturally significant. I wouldn't put The Room on the list because it's not a quality film, but it is culturally significant. It's very interesting. It's probably the most odd film ever. Like, if you do, I really wish you would rename the documentary Best Worst Film and make it about The Room. It's, I don't know how to say it. Yeah, nobody's arguing with T2. You shouldn't. Jurassic Park, I will respect Jurassic Park. I don't love it, but I don't dislike it. For me, Jurassic Park, I missed it as a kid. Caught it at 20, what was that, 25 when I saw it? 24? Yeah, so I saw it as an adult, and I just didn't like it as much. But the effects look great. Respect the movie. If you still love Jurassic Park, cool. I don't really have too much to say about it. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Is it the best Indiana Jones film? We'll discuss that later in the year. But what it is, it's a fantastic film. A 10 out of 10 for me. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Again, it's a movie I saw as a kid on videotape. Fun story. My grandma took me to the mall. Grandma was a great lady. She would always like buy me something. You know how grandmas are. So she bought me the Han Solo blaster from KB Toys. And I was like, yay, Han Solo, Han Solo. I'm so happy. Then we walked by Suncoast, and I saw Indiana Jones. And I had Temple of Doom on tape. And I knew there were other films, but I didn't know it. So this was probably 1997. Yeah, about 97. So I'd been, 8 or 9 years old. I was 8 years old earlier in the year. And so she bought me the gun, and she's like, if you want this movie, you can return the gun. So I returned the Han Solo blaster and got Raiders of the Lost Ark on tape. And I vividly remember watching it because I came home from the mall with my grandma to watch the movie. And, we're waiting to eat dinner and all this stuff. And then the head melting scene happened, and I was like, oh, God, no. And it really messed with me for a while. And then I would watch the movie and not look away, but I would get prepared for what was happening. And I watched Raiders of the Lost Ark a lot. And then we got Last Crusade on tape. And I think I watched that one the most once I got it. There's something about Last Crusade. We talk about feel-good movies. That's what Last Crusade is. It's a very great ending to a great character. Then the characters can live on in books, comics, games. There's no fourth Indiana Jones. What else do we got on this list? The original Star Wars is on here. They undefined it. They really fucked up putting Star Wars on this list. You just can't find it. And then Jaws. You guys know my take or my relationship with sharks. I don't like them. Don't like them one bit. It's probably my one fear. But Jaws is the classic, the first blockbuster, if you will. It's got to be high on the list. If this is a ranked list, number one. It's Jaws. What else is there to say? Scared people, changed an entire generation's perception of sharks. I'm sure people fear shark attacks more than they're statistically likely to happen. But I will say, in my defense, the reason I'm definitely afraid of sharks is not necessarily just because of Jaws, but because there was a famous shark attack on Virginia Beach in 2004. I was there the day before that happened. So, that could have been me. So that's why I feel the way I feel about sharks. So Demogeni's here, folks. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Listen to Demogeni. Good dude. Big fan of the Fandom Menace. Drove probably 15 hours to come hang out with us in Chicago. We had other listeners fly in and stuff, but Demogeni was there, and he was a cool dude. So, no swimming in the ocean for me, Agent Jeremy. I'm going to stay out. I like boats. I want to buy a boat when the channel grows super big and we're living that Top Gear lifestyle where I have Aston Martins, mansions, and boats. And it goes with boats according to the men at Prestige Worldwide. But I want all those things, just not going to get into the ocean with the sharks. Go out, have, champagne, drink, have fun on the boat. Just no shark swimming. Blake Weiss, thank you very much. Jeff, did you ever watch Young Indiana Jones series / movies? Yes, I did. So in 1999, they re-released Indiana Jones on videotape. And I was one of those kids that I didn't realize that a re-release was the same movie. It just had a different box. So I had to have the 99 re-release of Indiana Jones. I actually have that box set somewhere. I got it for $1. I rebought it because they were still wrapped in the plastic. I was like, yeah, why not? But with that box set, you got Young Indiana Jones, one videotape, because that was when Lucasfilm was trying to relaunch Indiana Jones for some reason. I don't know what the purpose was. And let me pull up the VHX. VHX. That's a cool name. VHX. That should be my fucking 80s synth pop band. Would you guys listen to us if we covered Tainted Love and all these other great songs? I would hope so. So let me look this up. 1999, Indiana Jones. Not Indiana. There we go. 1999 Indiana Jones VHS collection. It's yellow. Let's see if anybody remembers this, because I had these, and then they came with Young Indiana Jones. What was it they come with? But I remember seeing this, and this is how I experienced Young Indiana Jones as a kid. I didn't really like it. It's one of those things that's like, if I want Indiana Jones, I want Harrison Ford. I don't want other people. So, the back of the boxes looked like this. And this is how I figured out that Temple of Doom takes place before Raiders of the Lost Ark, even though it clearly says it in the film. Right here, 1935, 1938. Indiana Jones was the perfect trilogy. Seriously. Please don't. I would love to say, Disney, don't screw it up. They screwed it up already. But this is the Young Indiana Jones VHS tape that I had. It was a Peacock, Treasure of the Peacock's Eye. It was okay. Excuse me. It was okay. I liked it enough. But I never got into it. I was not invited to the San Diego Comic-Con this year. Sorry. So I know everyone that was going to meet me. Just don't go. Just don't go anymore. Mail me your ticket. Then I'll go. Now, I couldn't get in. I have no clue how to get in. Like, Jeremy gets all the... People are like, hey, I'm an insider, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, reach out to me. I want to get involved with this shit. Like, to be fair, Hasbro talked to me at Star Wars Celebration. That was kind of cool. They recognized me. But I'd love to go to San Diego Comic-Con. What would I do there? Buy all the toys. I would give you the best, worst footage cover ever. I'd be like, hey, here I am with another video on location, and I'm in line to buy the Star Wars toys or the James Bond or whatever is on sale this time. It would be fun. My favorite scene from Indiana Jones is very dumb for some, but very important. Not even important to me. I just like it. So my favorite part of all the Indiana Jones movies is in Temple of Doom, where Indy's fighting the thuggy guard, and the little Maharaja had stabbed the Indiana Jones voodoo doll. And just the part, once the pin gets pulled out of his back and it starts playing the Raiders March, and it like matches punch for punch with Indiana Jones in short round, and then Willie Scott's on the ground fighting the air. I love that part. That always brings a smile to my face. Temple of Doom is my favorite one. Big time. KR Companion, you will meet me at Star Wars Celebration Anaheim. I'll be there. I bought my tickets. We're not going anywhere. Like I said, you guys can help us just by spreading the word of our channel continuously, and we'll continue to grow, and we'll be at Star Wars Celebration. We will win. The Fandom Menace always wins. Our coverage of Episode 9 is going to be ridiculous. Like I said, I got shit planned already. I want to put this out there, and I usually don't say this, but don't watch any other coverage until you watch ours. Not only is ours going to be right away as soon as the movie comes out, it's going to be a multimedia event. We're going to have all the bullshitters in town. I'm flying them in. They're driving in. We're going to be in the same theater together. We're going to do a pre-show, a post-show. Is it a Star Wars moratorium? Like, you literally cannot miss this. And it's live, and you want to get involved. So don't see the movie until we do our review. Don't watch any other review until you watch ours. I'm putting that out there. I'm claiming December 15th of this year is our day. Once you see our review, make up your own mind, but watch our review first. The Rookie Critic says, morning, Jeff. Well, good morning to you too, other Jeff. Rookie Critic, I will have your recordings for you in a few days. I wanted to record them on location, but I had to switch hotels and stuff in Columbus. It's kind of a hassle, but I will give you recordings of what you need. Maybe audio, but it will be the highest quality with, maybe my little graphic, and you can use that as me. By the way, folks, how do you feel about the graphic that I do? Do you like it before the graphic? The thing is, with the graphic of me, the little drawing from the comic book, which is in the comic book, it provides the ability for me to make videos quicker, and so we can talk about more topics. But do you like the long they're still over 10 minutes always. But do you like those without the little graphic? Would you prefer the the me free version? Just let me know, because I have noticed with our YouTube issue, but I've also had videos that reach 220,000 views with little graphic in the corner. So understand, Jeff. I'll ignore Jeremy and Ethan permanently if that's what you command. Well, Cruel Sorrow, that is what I command. Thank you very much. Let's see. Josh and Rebecca Momani. Remember, Doomcock is 1 hour behind me, so I'll be on first. So there you go. Watch us first, then check out Doomcock. You know what I should do? We should do it to where I'm gonna have all these guys on, and then they could call in. Oh my god, that'd be the best. Oh man, we'll make it work. Thank you, Walter. I appreciate it. So people seem to like the graphic. Yeah, hell, Doomcock. I'm a Doomcock fan. Let's see. Somebody asked me about my favorite Indiana Jones love interest. Are we going looks or personality? Because looks, I'm going with Dr. Elsa Schneider. She's beautiful. Are we going with personality? I hate to say it. I think I could deal with Willie Scott, but I couldn't deal with Marion. Like, well, I don't know. I could deal with Marion. I'm a pretty easy guy to get along with. I have a lot of I get along with women just fine. So, yeah, I could personality-wise either. But if we're going looks, strictly looks, Dr. Elsa Schneider. Allison Duty that's her name, Duty. Laugh. She's beautiful. I'm a fan. Okay, so people are cool with the graphic. Great drinking buddy. Yeah, Marion would be a great drinking buddy. I do love that scene where the big dude's taking a shot and he just collapses over. As a little kid, I didn't get it. I knew they were drinking alcohol, but I didn't get like, oh, he passed out type of thing. Because, I never saw anybody drink as a kid. My mom doesn't drink or smoke. She's just, she worked a lot. So that was, my thing. But now as an adult, I really like that scene. Why did Jones zip through love interest? Maybe there's an answer, but I don't remember. Well, Cruel Sorrow. Remember, Willie Scott, chronologically, I know he was with Marion back in the day, but if we're just talking like the 3 films, Willie Scott was 35. I assumed they just didn't get along, or he took her back and she went home to, was she from Missouri? I assume that's what happened. Marion, that's the interesting one, because they clearly got back together later and had a kid. But, with all this stuff in the war, and Elsa Schneider's dead. So we know that Elsa Schneider bit the bullet. So maybe it would make sense that plus she slept with his dad. That's got to be weird. Like, yeah, you shared a woman with your father. How'd you know she was a Nazi? She talks in her sleep, just stuff like that. Will the High Council assemble tonight and where? Wait, today's Monday. No, we will assemble tomorrow, Planet Muskblog. First off, thank you very much. Oh, your second message. Sorry, tonight. Yeah, tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow on Ethan's channel. So check it out. Being away for a week, my perception of what day it is all skewed. I can't even think about like, oh, it's this day, it's that day. It's like it's a Good Morning Pop Culture day. That's all I can say. So EVS's channel tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss any of the High Councils. That's the thing. Don't ever miss the High Council. By the way, folks, this coffee mixed with this keto powder tastes like hot cocoa, and I'm enjoying it way too much. So it was nice though to talk about our friend. Okay, so KR Companion says, I'm the guy who designed the woke Disney company logo I tweeted you. Well, thank you. I like that logo quite a bit, and I've actually saved it to my phone. So KR Companion, shout out to you for making it. Folks, I'm tagged on it on Twitter. You guys want to check it out. It's awesome. Disney. I mean, I say these things about Disney all the time. And I'm not looking for validation. Oh, Jeff, you were always right. I'm not always right. I once thought Spider-Man 3 was going to be the greatest Spider-Man movie ever. It wasn't. Never was. But there's a lot of things that Disney does, and like I said earlier in the video, the more power they gain, the worse it becomes, and that, you know, our choice in terms of what we have access to entertainment wise is diminished, and nobody likes that. You want greater variety. I know there's that, what is it, choice paradox in terms of buffets, where it's like you have so many choices and you don't eat anything, or like Netflix. I'll give that, that is a thing. It's like there are so many options on Netflix. I only watch about 5 things: The Twilight Zone, whatever the show I want to watch in binges, some Star Trek, working my way through Black Mirror. By the way, good morning to everybody that's, let's see. So, oh, Hiram Bigelow. See, that's a name that's been a part of the channel for at least a year, close to it, on the live stream. You know, I'm glad you guys are coming back, so thank you. Yeah, real quick side note, Black Mirror season 3, or whatever this new season is, 5, the Hannah Montana episode is pretty good, and she's not a bad actress. Miley Cyrus kind of does a good job. I'm not saying I'm a fan. I don't like her music. Wrecking Ball is a weird song, but I thought she did a good job playing herself, essentially. So that's the best compliment I can give. And I'll watch the other 2 episodes. I'm working on something. By the way, if you're a patron, you got a Twilight Zone discussion. It was 90 minutes. We hated it. Kind of, maybe. Watch it and find out. But there's a bigger topic I'm wanting to cover, and I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. So just, you know, be checking on everything. Marion Ravenwood, the only woman who could potentially drink Jeff under the table. That is true. Many people have tried, male and female. Jesse Milestone tried, failed. Dion Green tried, failed. Kendo outdrank me, but failed at life because he puked everywhere. Yeah, folks, never go to Bourbon Street, drink a bunch of sugary drinks, then challenge me and drink a bottle of Maker's Mark, and then get into a hot tub. Because you know what happens? It cooks in your belly, and it just doesn't turn out good. How's the new Twilight Zone overall in your opinion? I haven't given it a try. Okay, so I haven't watched every episode, but I will say this. The first episode is surprisingly good. The Comedian, if it's on YouTube, watch it. Do not, in my opinion, do not sign up for CBS All Access. The rest of the shows are as woke and as stupid as you think. The first episode does not have that. It has little callbacks. And the first episode is also kind of scary. It's very Twilight Zone-esque. Like, I really like it. I think in my review, I gave it a 7. It's a solid episode. It is the Twilight Zone in a modern setting. It works. Once you get past that episode, it's all trash. All those bad reviews, all the stuff you've read about it, it's as woke as you can believe. Trust me. The rewind episode about the mother and son who go to college and the white police officer follows them. Here's the thing. If you want to send a message, make sure there's internal logic in your story. There's no internal logic in this damn episode. Like, the Twilight Zone can be heavy-handed. It can be hokey. It can be on the nose. But it was always well executed. You know, The Old Man in the Cave is a very hokey episode, but it deals with a lot of, like, you know, belief in God issues and stuff like that. Faith is what I'm trying to say. New Twilight Zone is a blunt instrument. The old Twilight Zone is a scalpel. It can perform surgeries. It can do way more. You know, even some episodes that don't have too much to say about society, but are great twists, like Silence, where the guy locks himself up for a year so he can win that money bet. You know, episodes like that. This new series doesn't have that. It has The Comedian, which is a good episode. It's funny. It gets political, but it almost has a, you know, it could be a commentary against being overtly political in your comedy. Like, there's whoever made that one did a good job. Whoever cast that one did a good job, and then the rest of them just are shit. So that's my take. My take. For those wondering how long I'm going to be on for, I might be on for a little while longer. So ask me your questions and throw your comments out at me. We'll see how this goes today. But there was time now. What was woke about the airplane episodes? Asked the square-shaped testicle, Ryan Johnson. Fuck. Sorry. I was just laughing at Ryan Johnson. Testicles. Yeah, right. So, so they changed it to where it's a podcast he's listening to. I think it has something to do with Islamophobia and something else. Kendo and Nick reviewed that one. We reviewed different episodes so we could get a greater spread because we were trying to do it on a shorter period of time. But ask Nick and Kendo on the podcast this Thursday night. I did not see the Axe Deodorant Heroes of Wakanda by Marvel. That's all I can say is I did not see that. I haven't even heard of it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it's too woke, don't watch it. You know what? I'm gonna take a screenshot of that. I'm gonna credit you. I'm also gonna use that. That's phenomenal. How would you feel about that being a t-shirt? Oh yeah, that's hilarious. Oh yeah, I'm gonna see episode 9 in theaters for sure. It's gonna be I have to. It's everything we've built for the last 2 years will lead to that. And I firmly believe that the movie is going to be as dumb as we think it's going to be. J.J. Abrams has never delivered and blown me away. It's just not going to happen. Klaus Stork says, my worst drunk story. I woke up downstairs in my underwear not knowing how I got home. No hanger. Like, so I got that going for me. Yeah, my worst drunk story. I've never really, like... Okay, the worst drunk story I ever had is I was at a party in 2011. Yes, 2011. And I watched a man drink Bailey's out of a shoe. And I drank a lot. And I woke up. And I won't talk about that on air. It was as nasty as you can imagine. It was the roughest morning of my life. I had to spend hours cleaning bed sheets. Just kept rewashing. Thankfully, I lived in an apartment that had a washer and dryer. I just kept washing. Another load. And I dried it like 4 times just to make sure. But hey, by the end of the night, I had a super fresh bed to sleep in. Let's see. Where somebody had some. Jeff, did you and Jesse find any good drink hangouts while in Columbus? Well, remember, she goes to Columbus more often than I do because she's this fencing judge. So she's like, oh, we'll go to this bar and that bar. And the craziest part was we went to this dive bar, and in the basement where the bathroom is, it was like a good quarter-mile walk, exaggeration. They had this piano, and it was like missing keys and shit. It looked like the one out of the Goonies. So I was like waiting to play it and have like that thing come out of the wall, B flat or we'll all be flat type of thing. But no, it was fun. A lot of dive bars, a lot of other bars, a lot of restaurant drinking too. Plus, there's a place called Half Pint. If you're ever in the area, Jonathan, I recommend it. They had so many beers. Such a good time. Any updates on Stealing Solo? Actually, Steven, I mentioned it earlier in the show. I sent a big batch of pages to the colorist. I'm going to receive a few back soon, like as in today soon. And I have to block a couple panels for spoilers, but I'll share some art updates. And I'll post that to Indiegogo. And as soon as I get all the pages back, it goes to the letterer. And then that gets printed. And then I have a whole shipping system worked out. So it's not too late to change your shipping update, if you have any issues. But your book is almost done. Again, I apologize that it's taken this long. Trying to run a channel. Plus, I did run into the hiccup with the colors, which is documented. But I've given fairly regular updates since the coloring hiccup. I've actually shared a lot of the book. I just have to pick and choose what I share because I don't want to ruin it for people. There are some twists and turns and events that I don't want anyone to figure out from a picture, because that's the one thing the internet is good for, but it's also terrible. Like, people will sit and analyze an image, and sometimes it's easy. Sometimes I don't want you to be able to analyze it. And in this case, I don't want you to be able to analyze the book. I want you to get your copy in the mail and go, I'm glad I bought this. So that is your update. You will get your book. Like I said, I will keep giving you updates. And I had to meet my future mother-in-law the next morning. Was still drunk, according to my fiance. Well, I'm really glad that she's now your wife. So it worked out for your benefit. That would be terrible. She's like, yeah, she was my girlfriend, and that's as far as I got because I was an alcoholic or something crazy like that. No, Klaus Stork, I joke. Thank you, Cruel Sorrow. I'm glad you bought a copy too. But I will give you guys updates. Like I said, I wish it worked out differently, but you're gonna get the same quality of book. I want to talk about it so bad. The only people that know the story are the 4 guys. Even Jessie doesn't know any of the twists. She asked me about it, and I'm just like, well, you'll find out more soon. So, yeah, Superfan Adam Shawhan, about your 9,000 copies. Yeah, we will meet up and have lunch. Are you coming to Indianapolis? So, folks, if you're wondering if we're going to be live anytime soon, Indianapolis Horror Hound, September 6th through the 8th. I will be there with all the guys. We have all of our stuff arranged and paid for. And we'd love to have you come out and hang out with us. We'll have our merch store launched by then. So if you come out rocking a World Class Bullshitter shirt, we'll have a free gift for you. It's going to be a lot of fun. So just, always be watching what we're doing. We'll make announcements. A lot of people don't follow us on social media, so we'll have to make announcements here and in videos, but we will. We will definitely have that, and we'll meet up. We'll hang out. What up, Midnight Cherry TV? How you doing? An action figure expert. I will say hi to my mom for you, Biff. So, God, it's 10:08. This has been a quick morning. Pretty quick morning. So, okay views. Like, what? If I see a Tank Shredder ones, I'll come back tomorrow morning. Do you want that? Would you like that? Claustork says, not my wife yet. Still got to give invitations, and y'all will be still getting one. We will do our as long as it doesn't conflict with the wedding that I'm officiating. I'll try to get the other guys together or whoever's invited, and we would be honored to be invited. So there we go. What are my thoughts on the Mortal Kombat franchise? I loved Mortal Kombat as a kid. I do love the Mortal Kombat movie. I'm embarrassed to say it's my favorite video game movie and one of my favorite just like guilty pleasure movies. It probably is my biggest guilty pleasure film. Like, I acknowledge its shortcomings, but I love it. Game-wise, 1 was good when it first came out. 2 is still my favorite. I didn't like 3 or the spin-offs, the derivatives, Ultimate 3, Mortal Kombat Trilogy. I just didn't like the art style or the character design or the combo system. I'm a Mortal Kombat 2 guy. I like the mysticism, the Asian inspiration, not so much the dark, gritty, outworld style of 3. Don't like the music, fatalities, whatever. But overall, I still like Mortal Kombat. I still play it. Phil's got, was it 12? No, 11. Mortal Kombat 11 was fun. I played it a lot. Not too bad at it either. Johnny Cage is my go-to character nowadays. Back in the day, I was a Liu Kang guy. I would spam the shit out of the bicycle kick and the low fire and the flying kick. Also love Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero is the only character in MK2 that I know the fatality off the top of my head. So if you ever play me, I'll probably hit you with the fatality and not apologize because I'm pretty decent at that game. Street Fighter, I think... Oh, Darth Tico, what's up, dude? Oh, we've just been having a good morning pop culture. We're going to have one tomorrow since I saw Tank Shredder 1, so thank you very much. I like Street Fighter more than Mortal Kombat in terms of gameplay. To this day, if you were like, what do you want to play, Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat? I'm probably going to pick a Street Fighter derivative of 2 because I enjoy that. And when I play Smash Brothers every once in a while, I play the hell out of Ken, and I go to the Ryu stage, listen to the Ryu music. I just like those Street Fighter. I like the Street Fighter characters more than I like the Mortal Kombat characters because Street Fighter is very faithful to its character rotation. Yeah, you get new ones, but you also get your classics. Mortal Kombat, now they have their kids and this and that. Like, who are these people? I just want to play as Liu Kang and Johnny Cage and all these other people. Let's see. Woke Mortal Kombat. Yeah, that Jack storyline was stupid. I did not like that one bit. Yeah, there you go. Superfan Adam Shawhan's pumped. You'll get your good morning pop culture tomorrow. Oh, you're talking about the movie, though. Oh, well, movie-wise, Mortal Kombat. Street Fighter sucked. That movie's terrible. I saw that as a kid on videotape, but I saw Mortal Kombat in theaters. And you know why? You know what the number one reason I saw Mortal Kombat in theaters was? Dumb and Dumber. I watched Dumb and Dumber probably 50 times as a kid on video. And Dumb and Dumber is one of those tapes where I'd watch all the previews before the film. And I keep saying because I'm thinking about 20 years ago. But the Mortal Kombat trailer was awesome. Combat Begins, summer 95. That Mortal Kombat theme that would play, it sold me. I was pumped. And I was like, Mom, can we see Mortal Kombat? And when I was young, we didn't go to a lot of movies. My mom worked hard. She would always do stuff for me, but if it was stuff that cost for her to go as well as me, we usually didn't do it. So, like, she'd send me to Kings Island with people. Well, my aunt would take me to Kings Island, but she always sent me with money to do stuff. But she would never go because she was working. So, with that was like a rare thing. That's probably the only movie I saw in theaters in 1995. Because we bought tapes a lot and rented stuff. But Mortal Kombat was an event, and I remember seeing it and thinking it was so great. And then the end with the cliffhanger ending, I still like it. I still pumped. About 2 years ago, I was on a kick, and I think I watched it like 20 times on Netflix. Kara Companion says the Street Fighter movie was a guilty pleasure of mine. Then again, my friend is Steven D'Souza, so there's that. Wait, why does that name sound familiar? I know that name. Steven. Like the director, or American screenwriter? No, that's Steven E. D'Souza. Oh, okay. Oh, he worked on Die Hard. Shit, you're friends with that dude? Damn, his films have earned a combined $2 billion at the box office. Okay, so you have a cool friend. Listen to this. This Steven E. D'Souza guy has worked on stuff like Die Hard, Street Fighter, Commando, Die Hard 2, The Running Man, 48 Hours, Judge Dredd. You won the award for coolest friend. Oh, wait. He worked on Beverly Hills Cop 3. I'm sorry. I take that back. Nah, I'm just kidding. No, this is all... Damn. That's a guy I'd like to interview. Oh, he worked on Die Hard? Die Hard's the perfect movie. Just saying it. Oh, okay. I wrote a book on the television show Knight Rider, which he worked on. Hence the night. Oh, the KR. Oh, cool. Okay, so you've got a lot of cool stuff going on. I'm glad that our channel appeals to you. We'll have to talk one day. Let's see. What are my thoughts on the new Spider-Man? I like 7 out of 10 for a movie, 4 out of 10 for a Spider-Man film. I will give you guys, I promise I will do an in-depth review. I'll try to have that up for tomorrow. I tested out if uploading videos at night helps. No, I'm going to stick with my normal time. Night videos do absolutely nothing. Let's see. Yeah, but I'll review it. It's going to be very, I don't know. It'll be very. I won't be bare bones visually, but it won't have a, Anyway, let's see. Die Hard will live on as the greatest cop/bad guy movie in history. All of them. Yeah, it will. It will. I've never seen the Mortal Kombat Conquest TV show. They used Babes from Baywatch, which I might have to check out. It was weird. Like, we didn't have cable growing up, and maybe some of these shows were on cable. Some of them weren't, maybe. But I just didn't ever see them. I never saw the Mortal Kombat cartoon either. You would see ads for it in comic books or in the back of magazines. And I'm like, I'm going to watch it. It's like Saturday mornings. Check your local listings. My local listings never had it. Like, it was hard to watch the Incredible Hulk cartoon. That was a really hard thing to pull off. Thank you, What's Her Face. I appreciate that. Oh man, Yell Raw Nas has not seen Die Hard. Well, we'll do our annual Christmas commentary this year. Don't worry. Okay, Conquest was in syndication. And it probably would have been on Channel 64 on a weird time. Like when that show was out, if it was on Saturdays, I played sports on Saturdays. I played baseball. And then when you'd get home, you'd have either lunch or dinner, and then we'd rent movies on the weekend. So I would just watch a lot of videotapes. I don't think I actually watched like Saturday morning cartoons was it, and then it was whatever we had on tape. And when I hit Star Wars age, if I wasn't in school or playing whatever video game I may have been playing, I was watching Star Wars a lot, reading Star Wars books, doing Star Wars stuff. Never got tired of it at all. I do remember Sequest. Chisel Tip, there was an episode of the podcast where we went on about Sequest for quite a while. Jonathan Brandis and Roy Scheider. So... Oh, what's its face? Okay. I was like, what's her face? Okay. Sorry about that. Cable was like having magic back in your house. We got satellite dish in the year 2000, and I watched everything. When I was probably 12 or 13, I used to be like, oh man, I'm going to spend my whole weekend watching TV Land. And I'd watch all those marathons. So I've seen like every episode of The Jeffersons or All in the Family or the Facts of Life sucked. Just no. But that was it. Yeah, we didn't have cable until I was a little older. Folks, I'm thinking about... excuse me. I got to close out the stream, folks. It's been a fun morning. This will be archived on our stream and stuff. So make sure you give it a thumbs up and share these and catch them live. And, we'll be back later with more. No, I have not seen the Rebel Run movie trailer. I don't even know what that is, actually, Full Metal. I'll have to check it out. I discovered Dragon Ball Z at a friend's house. I used to go to his house every day, and DBC was on at 5:30 because Reboot was on at 5 o'clock, right? And then once I got hooked on DBZ and still didn't have cable, I would watch it at my cousin's house every couple weekends. Like, you know, they would show Toonami in the afternoon and then at night. And I remember watching Dragon Ball Z, and I was like, oh my God, Dragon Ball Z is on. And I stayed up. And all it was the Snake Way episode. And I was waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and it didn't end. I was like, fuck. And so eventually when we did get satellite, I would catch Dragon Ball Z as often as I could. I think I watched it till about 02, maybe. So it's weird. That show's from the 80s, technically. Like, I think, what, debuted in 88, 89? But it took so long to get to America. But I was a fan. I still am. I want to get that new box set down the road. That'd be a lot of fun. So, folks, I appreciate you guys. I will be back tomorrow. Check out today's video. And as always, folks, be excellent to each other.